Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Paladins Spring Masters here in Atlanta 2018. My name is Rain Day, that's Gore Miser, and this is Hayes joining us from Kanga, all the way from OCE. How's it feel, man, to be here?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Had a great tournament.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get the results we wanted, but teams that made it here today are looking amazing.
Well, we're glad to have you on the desk. There's a lot to cover, and Gore, obviously you're excited about today.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be awesome. We get to see a couple rematches no matter what, and when it comes down to it, Na'Vi are looking kind of strong, at the same time kind of weak compared to where they were the last time they faced Envy, so I'm interested to see how this one's going to happen.
Definitely, and I can't wait to dive into that. We've got so much about this Na'Vi Envy set coming up, but let's talk about what we have coming up next week. It's my favorite time of the year, the Spring Fling. We're going to have a special guest hosting with a friend. It's not going to be revealed now, but you may have already seen some leaks on Twitter. It will be so much fun. Make-A-Wish Georgia will be supporting them like we did last year, $72,000 raised. You're going to be able to get your Archon Thanatos, your poolside in for $1,000 donations. I think anyone who donates over $10 will receive some great titles or some Smite avatars, and $100 donations will give you some limited skins that aren't available in the game right now. They were direct purchase, the Fernando and the Zen Conqueror and Paladin. So something for everybody. Give a little, get a lot, and it's going to be a great time, a lot of fun. Also, we have HRX coming up, Gore, and you know we always get excited about this because we're the party boys. We like to dance. We're planning on going to that Drake concert afterwards, but before we got to do some casting. Hopefully, Hayes and his squad will be there as well. The biggest tournament of the year, November 16th, 17th, and then 18th. Tickets on sale now at HiResExpo.com. Of course, we have a big day today, and before we go into opening thoughts for these guys, I do just want to say that this has been a fantastic tournament. Thank you, everyone who has stopped by, watched on any of the platforms. We are on multiple places, Twitch, Facebook, Mixer, YouTube. So thank you all for being here, and let's get into and Steam, of course, and we will get into the bracket very, very shortly to talk about what we have on the table here. It is a big day, and as obviously, Fnatic have a one-game lead in their best of 7 that will be coming up towards the end of the day. Only 2 matches. It will be first Na'Vi and Envy, who have battled all the way through the losers bracket, having a chance to now fight for the chance to play Fnatic again. It's going to be a rematch either way, fellas. Yeah. And we talked a little earlier. Which way do you think this set's going to be leaning to? Who gets there?
They're really close, and they both have so many advantages and disadvantages to their lineups and what they run. But I think if they both play at their best, Na'Vi will pull out ahead.
Yeah.
I think if Na'Vi can get that first map, then they'll probably be able to pull out the full set. But Envy is really kind of a wild card with the way they play. They don't mind playing from behind, even at a 2-map deficit. So they're kind of a coin flip as to how it can go.
Good day, bad day, right? Metapusher or Thiel said, actually,
Thiel's
about Envy. And you notice they're good, they're bad, they're good, they're bad. Do you think that they've somehow hit that switch? I mean, nobody expected in Vegas. Are you doubting them again, Hayes?
Yeah, it really depends if they've worked out Na'Vi or not. Na'Vi have changed their draft mid-tournament, because previously they haven't picked any off-healers at all, and I don't think they've picked any yet. So if Envy take advantage of that and work out exactly what they've changed their draft to, they can beat it. But if not, I think Na'Vi will pull out ahead.
And Gore, as far as Envy's strength, I mean, you think they might be able to pull it out. What's the reason? Is it just Rock Monkey? Is it the synergy? Is it the confidence?
I mean, a lot of it is similar to kind of what worked for Fnatic against them yesterday. I mean, they have a lot of really great Bomb King players. They make the Mave look really good. Rock Monkey has been ridiculous when it comes down to it. A lot of people now are just saying he is one of the best players, if not the best player in the world, just with his mechanical skill. So they have a lot going for them, and I think that because I know that Metapusher and the rest of them take it all very seriously, they've been watching Na'Vi like hawks. They know everything they've been going forward with, so they're probably planning their strategy already as to what they're going to go for with bans, with picks, with maps, everything.
Strategist, that's the best way I describe Envy. They do their homework, they do their due diligence, and they come prepared for a matchup. We had a chance to catch up with Envy, Metapusher, and Tolkien earlier this morning to get their thoughts on this upcoming match. Hey guys, it's game day. It's time to continue what you've already done in Vegas. I want to know how you're feeling going into, again, what could be an incredible day, taking on Na'Vi first.
I mean, we're elated, really happy to make it out of the loser bracket, getting those wins over G2 and SSG. Meant a lot to the team to get our momentum back after some early stumbles in the tournaments.
We're going to just keep trying to win, and let's get what happened in Vegas happening again here.
Yeah.
So I feel like every time I watch you guys play, like the first time, there have been some pretty handy losses, and then when you have the opportunity to go home to prepare specifically for the next matchup, you guys come back and you just look unstoppable. has that preparation already taken place? Because we don't get any more free losses here. We're going to go home if we can't get this win.
Yeah. The other teams are going to try to download what we do. No, we're going to be like robots back and download them back.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting in this matchup specifically because, our team and Phoenix are such good friends. It's hard to, keep everything so close to chest when you're talking to a friend like that. So he doesn't know our strategies, but he definitely is aware of our tendencies. And I think it's kind of the same way with us to them. So it's definitely an interesting situation, but I think we've definitely found our groove and we're starting to roll.
How does Rock Monkey be feeling? How's he feeling this tournament? Because I talked to him a little bit yesterday. I know there have been moments of ups and downs for him, but it seems like the draft has started to be more in the favor of getting him on bow characters more often and getting him comfortable. How do you guys feel about his performance heading into these finals?
I'm really confident in Rock. He seems really comfortable. He's momentous. That's all he keeps saying. We just need momentum. We got to find it somehow. Doesn't matter if we just spin our chairs in a circle 2 times before the game starts, as long as we make momentum somehow.
I'm always confident in Rock. I can always rely on him to constantly do damage. I know for a fact that he will always output damage, and that makes my life easier. So yeah.
There's been a fair amount of con from Na'Vi. Is that something you guys have begun to work into the fold a little more, or is that something you're realizing that you may need to just be banning out this set?
Think player.
Yeah, Khan. That's a fun champion. We're going to try to either take it away from him or we need to figure out a way to play against him because no one likes getting gripped and just tossed off a map, especially not the main tank.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with Mutu and creatives getting that damage boost, it's just insane. They run their double bows and they conch out, and Drogoz gets one shot by Shaolin and stuff. So it's definitely something we're looking out for. I thought we had a good idea of how he fits in the meta yesterday. We used him really well against G2. So I definitely expect it to go up in priority between our 2 teams specifically.
And I guess the way you phrase that, it seems like you don't want to play it necessarily. You're kind of working on strategies to play against it.
Maybe. I think we played it yesterday really, really well. I mean, our characters, when you think about Rock or Random with a damage boost, it's just as scary as Mutu or creatives.
Awesome. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. We were excited to see the finals. Good luck against Na'Vi.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Maybe, he says. A little bit of maybe. What do you think, Gore? You think we'll see some con?
That sounds like someone who wants to draft con at some point. In one of those areas where it's just if things don't go their way, like if Cassie or Shaolin get taken away, then they're like, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and scoop up that con just to make sure that you can't boost those.
And what do you think, Hades? Rock Monkey's been mentioned from many players across the world. How do you feel about him?
He's just really consistent, and he's always the one getting those quadras and pentas, and it's just insane, really, because he picks some picks that you generally don't think will work in the meta, and then he just comes out and makes it work. So
he is a special talent for sure, one of the rising stars for Envy, and a great story when you look at him and Rubu, his partner from the Team Purity on the PGS, Paladins Global Series qualification ramp, and now finding their way onto a PPL team, second in the PPL. Yeah. Winner of the first LAN here in Vegas, a $100,000 LAN, and now potentially doing it again 2 times in 1 month. It would be pretty amazing if they could pull this off.
And I feel like the key term was consistency. I think that's one of the things, a lot of teams kind of suffer from having someone who excels really well in one game and then the next game they're just not even there.
Right.
Having something that you can fall back on, we know for a fact Rock Monkey here is going to at least get a lot of damage down. Whether or not he's getting all of the kills, he's playing the same way he's going to play the next game or the way he played the last game, unless someone is just focusing him down. So it makes it a little bit easier, I think, for Envy to play around it.
Yeah, I think Na'Vi, too, have obviously the MVP of the world is creatives, and he's been showing up, but also didn't really show up big in the Fnatic set. He was a little stifled there. His pip on Bright Marsh didn't look as impactful if we've seen that from his Bittner and even Fisheko. What are your thoughts with Na'Vi now and getting that guy going?
Yeah, they can definitely play like all these champions, and the whole team can play anything, but they choose not to pick such a big amount of the heroes. So they choose not to pick these off healers, and they choose not to pick certain DPS, and they don't even mind with the tanks. Against us, they just went, oh, take all the good tanks. We'll just pick whatever's left.
Wow.
We'll pick up that Khan. We'll pick up whatever's... But the Barrack often coming up as well.
Right.
And other teams are just we don't really prioritize that, but they're beating us with it, so what do we do now?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. We actually are not sure how Na'Vi are prepping for this. Obviously, losing to Fnatic is a rough one. It's the second time within 4 days, but they are back and ready to take a shot at Envy.
All right, guys, it's the last day of the LAN. You have at least one match that you have to play, and you're coming into it facing Envy after what looked like a rough set last night against Fnatic. So how are you feeling about today and your chances?
I'm mostly, of course, there were some unlucky circumstances yesterday. You have to take those those just happen. There's nothing you can do about it, and just have to move on and bounce back and just try our best. We're happy to be back in at least the top 3 spot, and I think we earned that the way we've been playing this tournament. I just hope we can get at least the top 2 spot again.
Do you have a fresh keyboard for today?
I'm using the Hi-Rez one, so should be fine.
I kind of wish Spunky was here, but I want to kind of know what the comms were. There was a point yesterday on Bright Marsh where Thiel's going towards the edge of the map, and he played it off as though it was something intentional. But what were your comms like when that wall knocked him off of the map?
I think at that point it was really we were in a difficult situation because we were starting to lose because we lost our momentum there as well, and we were trying to keep each other happy during the games, of course, because we want to win. And I think just what happened was we called for the stagger, and then Spunky was like, "Oh, I'm dead," and then maybe a small desk slam.
So how does it feel to go back up against Envious here now after losing against them in Vegas fairly handily? Do you guys have a plan this time around for countering what they did so well against you guys in Vegas?
We just do the same thing. Of course, we already changed, as you can see in our draft, we changed things completely. We went back to the double tank. Of course, we sometimes still play the solo tank when I feel like having fun, but mostly just the double tank. And then I think that if that doesn't help for us, it should make things closer between us and Envy. And if it doesn't push us over the edge, and at least I expect a closer set.
One of your best performances against Fnatic yesterday was actually when you guys were playing 3 DPS. Do you think that is the key to defeating them, or if it's just map specific that it becomes relevant?
I think with Fnatic specifically, they like the triple DPS, and sometimes it's just better to take people on their own, fighting on their own grounds. And triple DPS, they know it, but if we put it ourselves on even ground, so we have the same amount of damage and the same amount of frontline, then it just comes down to raw skill, mechanics, and strategies, and that's something we excel at.
So you've played Fnatic countless times in the past. It's scrim partners. It's something that you're used to. Envy you seem to meet up against every so often now. Do you think that the last few times that you've played against them that now you finally have something that's going to be able to take them down, or do you think that they're still coming in with a different NA strat that you just can't quite handle?
Personally, I think Envy is just right after they did their few roster swaps, of course. They've been improving. They've only been going up ever since. And I think they are just a phenomenal team. Nothing to underestimate, and we shouldn't be ashamed that we lost to them in Vegas because they won the tournament, of course. And I still think they're a phenomenal team, and we wouldn't underestimate them. And we're just going to try our best, and I assume they will try their best.
I want to ask you to reveal whether or not you are going to pull out 3 DPS versus Envy, but if perhaps you had to, Unby, what's your favorite frontliner to play in a solo frontline scenario?
Inara, there's no question about it. I do like Terminus, but right now there's some mechanics in the game that just don't work sometimes, so it's a little rough, but yeah.
Gotcha.
That actually kind of leads me, yesterday in Splitstone, there was a point where you were playing the Terminus, you were getting very aggressive, and it just didn't quite seem that you had, I want to say partially enough follow-up kind of from the rest of the team, but also every time you would go in, it seemed like your health bar was non-existent. Do you think that Terminus kind of struggles in that area, or mainly on Splitstone?
Nah, at that point, we just didn't have the momentum. We didn't have proper teamwork going on. Terminus can survive just fine. It wasn't our day after our loss on Chego Falls. So I think the champion is fine. Just other things affected us too much.
Well, it sounds like you guys have done a lot of preparation to come in for today. You're still looking for that top spot, but you're at least aiming for the top 2. So good luck in your games, and hopefully we'll be able to see you later.
Thank you.
Well, as you can see, Phoenix getting ready for this, and a seriously mechanical, skill-based plank there. What do you think about that, Hades? How's the form?
Yeah, he's looking really strong right now. That's obviously the training that all teams do right before the big match.
Look at Mutu's face here. Trying to not crack a smile, but it's hard. He's like, I have to be the Terminator.
I'm impressed how he took that corner.
Is this
Twice.
Wow. Just a lot of
Seamless.
visuals. A lot of visuals.
He's got a lot of practice doing this.
It's really interesting visual there. Phoenix, obviously a fun guy, having fun with his team, and that's what I think of. When what he's brought to this squad of Natus Vincere. It's been much needed for them.
Yeah, that was one of the things they had mentioned, once he first got on there, was that it opened up the comms. It made such a big difference for them in terms of communication, and that's when they really started to excel as a team. And now they've gotten to the point where, world champions, not really sitting at the top right now, especially after the way Wednesday went, but still contending for at least top 3, if not top 2.
Jaguar Falls here, going to be the first one as we get into the champion draft for this best-of-5 set. Best-of-7's only reserved for the grand finals. A lot of teams have been talking about that. Hayes, what's your personal thought on these best-of-3s, best-of-5s?
It definitely favors some certain teams, because the maps, when you're playing with a smaller map pool, you don't get a chance to get to those later maps that teams might not have practiced at just as much, like Timbermill, Splitstone.
That used to be something you guys kind of excelled at, right?
Yeah, so previously we just hoped for the best, like get it down to those last maps and we'll win them all. That's how we make all those comebacks, but with the best of 3s, you really don't have that chance. You have your map pick, their map pick, and then it might be over.
Wow. Well, it's obviously been a big sign of trouble when you let Makoa and Maeve on the same team. We know not to do that. And amazing, too, that they have the same, letter. I guess there's just not enough letters in the alphabet for these coincidences to not happen. All the stealth champions are with S. All Makoa and Maeve happen to be 2 dangerous picks you do not let go together. And here's the Terminus band as well from Na'Vi to start it out.
It's just really interesting to me to see Na'Vi, I guess the way they're focusing it, because it feels very much anti-Envy right now.
Yeah.
They've seen the way that Random Noob has played the Maeve. They've seen the way that Tolki has been on this Terminus, and Rubu, whenever they pick it up, it's just been deadly for them.
Hayes, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky at the moment. They can't let Inara and Ruckus through here.
Yeah.
So they can't let Envy pick both of them, so they're going to have to grab one of them at the start, or Envy's going to be banning one of them off right now.
And looks like the Drogos. So Na'Vi, I would expect going for an Inara here. I think they really do like that. And it is the Inara. Feels, kind of at home with that champion. And I suppose the Envy could go for the Ruckus here with, Bomb King is now going to be possibly prioritized, since that's the only blaster besides a Pip that really will be available.
And this opens up the flexibility. In the interview he had mentioned if he was going to solo tank anyone, he'd rather it be a Nara, and getting that first, then you can pick up maybe a couple of DPS or at least a DPS and support the next pick phase, and then you can kind of adapt. Okay, Envy, you see 4 of their picks, let's go 3 DPS, let's get that double tank. They run so many different front lines that it really is flexible.
I think they might end up even taking no other tanks till the end of the draft, because they'll be happy finishing it off with a Barrack. Shaolin and Cassie extremely strong from Envy here if they lock those 2 in.
Interesting here. So they've got a lot of damage on the table, and this means that Rock Monkey is very comfortable. You do not have to worry. And in fact, you're not quite sure which one he's going to be on. Not that that matters. What does this say to you draft-wise, Gore? Are Envy just confident tank-wise saying, well, we can get a Fernando, we can get a Khan here, we can run a Barrack. We're not really worried, since you only can pick up really much more. There's Fernando available too.
Well, it's one of those things, Cassie, when played properly, and I think it was actually specifically Kanga that made it look as good as it did. Every other game she's kind of been present, had that damage. Envy's the other team that's making her look good. When you get her and Shaolin, your damage output just goes through the roof, and if they can pick up, like Genos getting taken away there is the smart thing, because if they had that on the same side, that would have just been easy 2 shots. One of them throws from the left, one throws from the right, and then you're dead.
Hayes, what do you think about a possible Bomb King still coming out here? If Envy try to maybe match a triple DPS and flex Tolki onto something pretty basic like a Cassie?
Yeah, it can definitely be strong, but Bomb King has kind of fallen off in the recent meta. Like, a lot of games he's actually got through and not be picked. And that's usually dependent on the lineup. But seeing as Drogos is banned and Maeve is banned, they really don't have that many options left. So we might see a BK and there's still Ruckus left.
Oh boy, we forgot about that. It got all the way down here.
So far down.
And the Khan as well. So now they're just rocking out a support, most likely filling it out with Damba here. But the big guns will be brought out, as well as the Primus of House Ico, you would assume. And Na'Vi now trip DPS with a Genos. It's looking like it.
I mean, that's definitely the
possible.
route I think it'd go to. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, I think, not having Shaolin and Cassie, but they can pick up the Bomb King. They can kind of have something that I think on Jaguar Falls, you don't need those long line sides, but they would do go for the Barrack like you had mentioned earlier, Hades.
Yeah, they always leave that flexible tank up to the last pick because it seems like they don't really prioritize them. They just go, we'll take whatever's left and play it as best we can.
Well, Dama locked in here for Envy, and so that sets up our match. All the champions are locked and loaded. And it will be Envy and Na'Vi starting their best of 5 in just a moment. Guys, predictions before we get into the big match.
I'm going to have to give this one to Envy. I mean, Shaolin, Cassie, Ruckus all on the same side. That's just way too much damage.
Hades?
Yeah, I originally thought Na'Vi, but based off the draft, I think Envy has a better chance of winning this one.
Well, we don't have to try and speculate any longer. The game's about to get started. Let's send it down to our casters, our buddies, Alan and Vox.
Thanks so much, Evan. It is, of course, Vox and I hold pen on the desk. We're on the cast right now, not the desk, with the pen. And we're ready for this first game. Now, we were talking about the draft that was up on your screen a moment ago, and when it first came up, it looked like Na'Vi might be going towards maybe a sort of more Fnatic-oriented triple DPS strategy, but they last picked the Barrack. How do you feel about that?
You know, it's interesting because I think that while, the desk broke it down perfectly, it looked like they were going to go for that triple DPS standing. Not the case really whatsoever here as the Barrack does come out. I'm fine with it just because this has been kind of the true and tried method that Na'Vi has gone with. It's just on this map in particular, if Barrack has that ability to really get set up nicely.
So initial talent looks like everything is pretty standard here. Again, you see the Missile Barrage coming out of the Ruckus firing line for Khan. Itemization shift, what do we got?
Yeah, it's interesting to see that there's not a lot of Rejuvenate coming out, only the level 1 going for Unbelievable on the Inara, and it's actually interesting a Wrecker onto the Barrack and a Cauterize onto the Bomb King. So that's an interesting kind of trade of focus. Typically you see Bomb King going with that Wrecker to help take down those shields, but it's going to be Phoenix trying to do that damage.
Initial point control goes over through to Na'Vi, 39% and climbing so far. Team Envy yet to set foot on the objective. Khan battle shouts, Rock Monkey tries to make their way in, but a good impasse wall blocks things up. Unbelievable takes a lot of damage, but does retreat in enough time to get out of dodge and escape for the time being.
The poke was good, though. That's exactly what you want to see, because now, again, it opens up this right-hand side for Rock Monkey, who finds more shots into creatives as well as Unbelievable, and they can't touch at the moment. But this being said, Envy has not really put too much pressure onto the point. Inara's back to full HP, and she can come and recontest.
Creators are looking for Rock Monkey as well. Boxes them out really well around a corner. Shaolin forced to retreat here. Random New tries to put some pressure onto Unbelievable, but doesn't really find much, as that Earthen Guard makes her so tanky in combination with that Genos heal coming through.
And Raynor, we're actually missing a handful of shots there on the Stone Ward, and that needs to change quickly if you want to try to poke out this Inara, because Barrack, again, is setting up shop over here on the left-hand side, and actually First Blood does come out for Spunky as he finds Random New planning up, but again, these bows are just not connecting at the moment for Envy.
A lot of shots missed right there. Creatives now pushing further forwards. Overtime is ticking for Na'Vi as they are at 99% in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Creatives might go down here, but nobody's around to contest the objective, and Phoenix is already flanking as Mutu finds 2.
That's not really worth it, I don't think. If you're Rock Monkey, you get the kill on Bomb King, sure, but I mean, why not just sit a little bit further back, make sure this defense gets set up early, and you can get that early poke. He's the best one at doing it at the moment, as far as being able to hit for at least 1,000, if not more, depending on what kind of combos he can pull through. Mutu now has the ability to kind of do some poking of his own as he goes towards this face caricature side on the left hand, and this is really dangerous because Envy needs to set up and make sure that from left to right they have a nice little defense put together.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Creatives finds Rock Monkey after Mutu sets up the kill, bring them down low with their Flaming Sword, and now Mutu again looking to put some pressure onto Rubu here. Really nice jukes around terrain, being able to use that Yomi strike shift.
And this is an interesting situation as Tolki does get a kill, but he is also low, and Mutu has whirled his way back over to the right-hand side now, and once again, Rock Monkey will plant up, and he'll get countered in the beginning of his planted, so it'll just be a disengage for both Mutu and Rock Monkey. Impasse wall to gain some space for the offense to kind of get themselves recollected, get those health pulls back up before they try to break the space.
And notably as well, Creatives has died and gone back to base. With that extra 300 credits from the neutral capture objective shift, that means that Creatives should have a Cauterize 2 online now, which will be really starting to swing, and you can see it there in the items. Also, King Bomb ready. All ultimates from Na'Vi are channeled and ready. Mutu stays alive. This is really good for Na'Vi.
And Seismic Crash comes out. Kratos finding the first kill on Rubu. Now on the left-hand side, you can see Phoenix is also moving their King Bomb on the right-hand side, though, Vox. This could really change the tides for Na'Vi.
Oh, Tolki doesn't have the Battle Shout available, isn't able to immune that damage coming through. Kratos has 170 health left, but stays alive. Random Noob uses Scout as well, but what's that going to do? Revealing the Inara? Well, Rock Monkey can find a double kill so far. Gets the triple. That might have just saved this defense, as with 50 seconds left shift, this payload almost went through.
The big thing was it was a triple on the back end of not having to pull the trigger on the Heat Haze. That's absolutely absolutely huge. He was sitting in the secret area. He's able to withdraw back behind, find 2 low HP targets, and then, of course, the third was an easy focus for all of Envy. That's a really good play, and this is the mojo that Rock Monkey really needs to start finding at Shaolin.
The issue that I'm seeing right now, though, is that Na'Vi have come back with a mid-round buy. Unbelievable already has that Rejuvenate 2 online. Phoenix has Rakatu. These itemization deficits for Team Envy are really starting to hurt, and they need to find picks in order to make this last push attempt from Na'Vi not go anywhere.
Now, where's the poke? They need to find poke on Unbelievable at the moment, and this is interesting as Kratos actually finds himself a kill on a random noob, so now the damage is going to come straight down to Rock Monkey. They don't have the numbers at the moment. Of course, Respawn's proximity is there, but Tolki's also pretty low. Unbelievable still full HP.
Heat Haze could be coming through. Rubu shuts down Phoenix, though, as Dome Shield is activated, and Team Envy do defend successfully. That was a lucky kill right there.
And that's just the burst potential of Ruckus. This is why he's so dangerous. That's the play I was talking about, withdrawing through Secret on that left-hand side perspectively. He's able to find 2 low HP targets and planning up for the third. Just really good awareness and understanding from Rock Monkey to know he can pull that move off and get that damage out for free.
And that's part of the value of the Bullseye Reset Shaolin that we often see Rock Monkey playing right now, where if you're able to find that first kill, you can chain together withdraws, you can boost your bonus damage up, and you can keep on picking up successive kills here. Looking at some stuff coming out of Na'Vi right now, we've got Creative's loadout on screen shift. That's a Reinforce Force Casing 5. What's the value of that card in Creative's loadout versus Team Envy's team here?
It's one of those things that we're seeing a lot of players taking these cards that reduce crowd control just by inherently leveling up a card. So this relies on you being able to invest more in your itemization, not in resilience. Again, that was the big key back at World Championships. Resiliency just completely changed the game. Now with people investing into their cards, it absolutely let their loadouts when it comes to their items stay a little bit more flexible.
Little ways to pull further ahead. Rock Monkey actually does withdraw there, takes a lot of poke, and
wow.
no, Kratos is landing these big Royal Subjects detonations over the top of the shield, but Tolki helps with Rock Monkey find 1 kill, step into the light and perish as Spunky, but misses the kill. Rock Monkey finds 2 in a row, looks for Mutu on the backside of this fight, lands the impale as well. Mutu will go into their counter there, but Bill is away to safety. Can Rock Monkey find the kill?
Does not look to it. Inara, meanwhile, is on the point the entire time. Rubu has to come and commit. No Hexafire available. It's still 30% charge. Seismic Crash, though, for the side of Na'Vi. Coming back in. Clutch heal there, coming from Tolki onto Rock Monkey. Now they're pushing forward. They need to find a way to get in, though, as, again, Rubu is dead. So Tolki, with this low HP Khan, has to find a way to contest. Not going to do it here. And Mutu with 1 final blow on a random noob. That'll be enough for a 2nd point for Na'Vi.
And again, Shift, we spent all that time talking about Rock Monkey making a play into the backline, finding a double kill, but all the while, Na'Vi just have point control, and Team Envy haven't found a way yet to displace that in the early game. Is there any way that they can really deal with this Inara without finishing everybody else off first?
For me, it comes down to the fact that all 3 of your damages need to be hitting the Inara, so that way she burns her cooldowns and you make the Maldamba really kind of have the flexibility of helping out his own front lines for the side of Envy. Ruckus, Cassie, Shaolin all have to be poking at the same time when it comes to the Inara, otherwise she's just going to sustain it.
Unbelievable then is being poked out pretty significantly. Cooldowns have been elapsed right now, could be burned, but again, the healing coming through is pretty significant. Spunky finds Reboot there, held in place by Spite from Mutu Zin. And Na'Vi do start committing ultimates as they might be able to find a 2-point advantage here if they're able to get this payload rolling through.
Oh no, Tolki in a little bit of a bad spot, couldn't find his way out, and now you can see Phoenix and Creatives are pushing the left-hand side, trying to control all of this area kind of in a U-shape surrounding this final point. They still have 1 minute and 25 seconds. Team Envy, I think this is the time you pull the Dread Serpent just to make sure you get some space created so you can come and contest this.
Somebody's got to be able to do so. Mutu is putting some pressure on the backline. Rock Monkey comes through, but here's a Seismic Crash from Inara. Doesn't find too much. Rock Monkey finds 1. Tolki as well takes down Creative's Dome Shield is on for the time being, but Phoenix gets jettisoned off the map. Seems like he stays alive though, able to use the rocket boost to get back in. Ruby does find Unbelievable though, but Na'Vi are still here. Phoenix planted, shredded by the Shaolin, perforated and turned into Swiss cheese. And more things with holes in.
This was a really brilliant execute just to force the bodies in the right spot. Both Rubu and Tolki, the frontliners for Team Envy, commit at the same time. There's a gourd preemptively put down. The Mending Spirits are focused on the frontliners. Meanwhile, Cassie and Shaolin go to opposite sides to try to put the pressure on when the damage comes in and kind of funnels it, and it actually allows them to get the defense without having to spend any ultimates. Really good play from Envy on the D.
34 seconds left. Scout has been activated by Random Noob. That's CC immunity as well as the reveal coming through, but Mutu is putting pressure onto Ruby, forced to retreat right now. Random Noob ends up in a pincer. Needs to be very careful, but the somersault reset does get them out of dodge for the time being.
Rubu wants to push forward and get aggressive on Unbelievable. The rockets start to connect, and payload is moving. 15 seconds now coming in before overtime, and we will likely see one. Although Rock Monkey and Random, again, they're playing opposite sides, and they're getting the damage done. This is a great funnel from both of these bow characters. It was a slow start, but they clean up 4 of the 5 in that last engagement. It will be another successful defense. We're going to go 2-2.
Good situation there for Team Envy on the defense. And looking at the ultimate economy when we come back in from that, I feel like both those teams used a couple on the push to see if they could try and get the payload through for Na'Vi and defend, but there are some critical ultimates still left available for each team, so I expect to see them burned. The one thing that we haven't really seen so far, Shift, is the use of ultimates to deal with this Inara on the capture objective.
It's just tough, right? Because the damage reduction also provides there's some crowd control immunity, so when it comes to a Dread Serpent, you can't use that as a initiation-based ultimate. You have to find some other way to force Inara off the point. Could be a Hexafire, could just be good poke from Heat Haze. I just don't think you use Dread Serpent until the later part of the fight to try to keep that engagement either longer or to use it as a disengage for your team to stay alive.
Looking at Team Envy now, itemization has come online as well. Look at the blast shields coming through, stopping some of the damage from being quite as effective by Creatives, who has been a thorn in their side for the duration of this fight. Straight to the objective again goes Inara, big flank coming through though. Rubu leading the charge now, overtaken by Random
big
Move,
kill.
and Mutu gets deleted.
Wow, that's absolutely huge because now you have this whole left-hand side and back line open to you to push. You need to find another kill here if you're Envy because, again, Mutu is about to come back, and he's dangerous when he goes unchecked kind of later in the fights. Unbelievable low. Through time and space, trying to create some space of its own, and it's going to be Rock Monkey planning up. He finds one. He finds two.
Rock Monkey with the double kill here. Random Noob TV comes through as well. Mutu forced to go into Billow. Just going to contest for a second before ending up dying. So buying time for the respawns from Na'Vi to come back through, as they are very, very staggered right now. But Na'Vi have 4 ultimates left to recommit to this objective, whereas Team Envy only have the Hexafire here, Shift.
Yeah, and that's going to be kind of huge when it comes to the ability to zone, and I'll say the Scout is also there, so if they can find a way to just keep everyone dismounted and keep them pushed back for the side of Na'Vi in this retake, they very well could. Spite is actually going to be used up in the air, plus a World just to try to get closer to the point. Now the seismic crash.
This is big. That's a lot of CC setup right now. Rock Monkey looks to put the pressure onto Mutu, but Mutu's found Mr. Haste in the backline. Dread Serpent could be used here, but no, it's not even available as that was burned in the previous point fight. Rock Monkey shuts him down. Rubu has already found 1 kill of their own. Unbelievable low on the objective. Cooldowns are being elapsed right now, but no Genos heal is coming through, and Rock Monkey goes savage.
And Phoenix is only just delaying for a matter of time. The overtime will fade away. 100% for Envy. They get themselves their first payload. Vox, look at all those flashing numbers on the right-hand side of the UI. That's just absolute domination here in this third part of the round for Team Envy.
That is a lot of streaks, but it does provide an artist Vincere with the opportunity to get some comeback potentially on this defense if they can find a few big kills here. Seal the ultimate charge on the left Shift, 60%, 56. If maybe the Xin, maybe the Genos picks up one of these high streak characters on Team Envy as a kill, they should be able to charge that ultimate very, very quickly. However, Creatives is helping at least take the wind out of Envy's sails for the time being. Envy are going to regroup behind this wall, but Mutu, Phoenix are looking to chase here. They don't want to give Envy the opportunity to regroup.
Yeah, why not, too? I think when you have all of that damage that can funnel up, plus the security of a barricade and some turrets. But now on the right-hand side, here comes Rock Monkey, Toki, and Rubu. They all want to push through. Random Noob finds Phoenix. Mutu in a little bit of trouble. He's actually going to whirl in and actually find the kill. What a play that was. Now he's in the backline. He does have a Spite available. We are traded away 2 for 2, so it's 3-on-3 action right around the point.
Payload still moving for the time being, however, as the advantage with the front line still goes to the side of Team Envy right now. Mutu is waiting for respawns of damage champions to come back through. Actually, turns his attention towards Rubu here, regroups the rest of the team. Creative takes over and continues to bombard the frontline members of this Team Envy squad, but Scout has been activated. Team Envy want to go all in here.
It depends on where they want to commit to. Creatives is free firing on this left-hand side of the defense, able to find Tolki there with a couple of strewn sticky bombs. And now, again, this is the same setup we saw before. It's the same movement from the left. We have Inara and Creatives pushing forward. On the right-hand side, everybody else is moving right on through with Phoenix and Mutu trying to push, and this is a really good defensive zone. It's not anything, they're not full committing, and that's the big thing. They're not diving to push this defense. They're just setting up aggressively and forcing Envy to retract. That's really smart.
And it's also buying the time for Na'Vi to be able to get some extra ultimates online on defense themselves. They now have a Seismic Crash, which is a really good counter-initiation ultimate here. Dome Shield almost ready as well. Creatives getting poked out very significantly, though. Team Envy could sense an opportunity to go in, but Rubu is about to go down here. One more sticky bomb will do it. Unbelievable is the one to find the frag here. Mutu in the backline has Billow to get out again, and this seems to be the story for Na'Vi right now. Mutu is doing so much work for this squad.
Yeah, but Phoenix does get taken down, so when it comes to the pivot spot, it was now as well, Rock Monkey's able to find the last bit of the arm of Mutu to take him away. Unbelievable's in an interesting spot. We'll have to fall back. Fortunately, he does have the impasse wall to gain him the space. If he would have fallen there, this would have been a lot easier of a push, at least to break the base. But now Envy's Navi's got to find a way to commit. They do find on B as Random comes off the right.
And here's the scout coming through from Team Envy. They recognize that 3 points to 2. They can commit ultimates here and get a conversion to win, but Mutu finds Random Noob. It's all up to Rock Monkey. Creators it's looking for, but Mutu's got a double kill here. Team Envy beginning to back off. They know that they can contest the objective for a little while, but it's only buying them more ultimate charge right now. They're not going to be able to hold this. They've got to give it up. And Navi defend. We're all tied up at 3-3.
I wouldn't be surprised if Envy right there just made the call, just back off the payload, just get off of it. Because again, the Dome Shield was used immediately after Scout was pulled for Envy. And again, this is such a good play for Muto. He's able to dive in, put the counter up as soon as he's able to hit that last in-hand. That's just really good trigger discipline on the abilities. But again, the Dome Shield was used in that defense, and I think at that point Envy says, he used it, let's just back off the point and hope that he has it at no point for this last objective fight.
That's a really big win, because critical things to hold the objective now for the side of Navi. As they get later and later into the game, the Inara becomes less effective as more Cauterized comes online, and Phoenix definitely becomes less effective with Barricade, as Oraka has been picked up significantly by Rock Monkey. And also, Rock Monkey right now sitting on a 17-5-8 slash line. This player has so much weight on their back right now, alongside Random Noob, to carry their team to victory. Watch out for the ultimates though. Tolkien goes through to the torch room, looks for an early kill. He's unbelievable. If Earthen Guard is used here, it should be a quick kill. And here comes the overpower. Unbelievable. Sinks like a stone all the way across the Serpent Beach.
That's absolutely brilliant. And now there's an opportunity to move on forward because that Nara is down. Creatives is low, but he's actually doing a good job of counter poking out Rock Monkey, who actually just now uses that Heat Haze for essentially nothing. It is, again, the 18% for Envy, up to 24 and counting. Mutu's trying to flank her in the back. He's been sniffed out by Rubu. This could be bad if Mutu falls.
The problem is Rubu there gets poked out significantly as well. Not too much health left, but the emitter cooldown has already been burned. Mutu does retreat safely. 57% for Envy right now, 60% in climbing. Navi have 3 ultimates to commit, and Hexafire is used straight into the face of Phoenix, who isn't able to get to safety. Here comes the Dread Summon as well from Mr. Hayes. Unbelievable, feared, in so much trouble. Creatives is going to use a King Bomb now, but they're low on health, and gets burned down by Rock Monkey's shift. This should be Team Envy getting the capture here. It's Mutu can't do something, but they can't make the impossible. Rock Monkey finds the kill, and Team Envy overtime ticks down.
But there's nobody here that's even going to come close to contest it. You can see Phoenix is just sitting in the spawn. They know it. Team Envy. What an incredible play that was, specifically for Rubu on my side. He backs up, he controls that left-hand Jaguar false side, and comes right back in with the biggest of Hexafires right into the face of Phoenix.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel when there's nowhere else for Phoenix to go in that small and confined space. And again, the later that game goes, the less that barricade really matters, because it falls apart like wet paper when you do get that Wrecker online. Really good play from Team Envy. A great start for Navi, but unable to find the push twice in a row. They do end up falling to the more late-game strategy. With that in mind, folks, let's have a listen and see exactly what our desk thinks of this first game.
Well, I thought it was a great game. Obviously, Envy come prepared. They come with a strategy, and they also come with 2 bows, Cassie and Charlotte, and that works out.
It was actually really fun for me just watching it, because it felt like you could see Rock Monkey at the beginning, like, missing shots, and it's like, man, what's going on? And then as the game went on, it was just the absolute warm-up.
Yeah, the Cassie and Charlene's just so hard to counter, and they got, as you saw, they got the top damage there, and it's just impossible to push.
Yeah. And he made those plays, right, Hayes? I mean, it wasn't that it was easy. I mean, Rock Monkey still had to perform, so he had a big moment. Do you think that this was a drafting issue? Do you think this was just a performance issue?
It seemed like Navi knew the draft was going to go that direction, but they just didn't prepare for it well enough. You'll see that Inara put up the wall, but on the last round, Khan got that ult anyway, so that's ended up losing him the game.
It's a bummer. Man, that Khan ult's so good when you just have the right timing, and especially with Inara. I mean, Fernando, maybe he could charge back on if he's got resilience, or Inara has to either build resilience or just early Mother's Grace it so that she can get away from a window like that. It's very, very difficult stuff to do, but of course, Envy come with a strategy like I mentioned, and that's part of what I think is really good going into these finals if you're an Envy fan. They never really feel like they are out of it as long as they're given time to prepare.
And what I really liked was it seemed like they were very flexible. There were several moments where Rock Monkey was kind of what, I guess, the key that opened the door. But early on, it felt like they didn't quite know what to do. They had the Khan and the Ruckus both playing kind of the same style. Like, let's go to the side and try to pressure it out. And so Unbelievable was just like, all right, I'm just going to stand here on the point, take it up, do whatever we want. And then everything started rolling. The whole team started rolling with it. And once Rock Monkey, I mean, you kind of pincer Random Noob and Rock Monkey, and anything that gets in between them is going to just get erased.
Yeah, I mean, Tades, overall thoughts on that game? You starting to change your mind here a little bit? Navi looking lesser than you expected?
No, I think they took a calculated risk there. They knew that the Charlene and Cassie wouldn't be able to hold that first push. and they got the point all the way to the end, nearly converted it for the first 2 rounds, but they just couldn't get that last millimeter.
And it's a bummer. Rock Monkey has a triple there. That's kind of where special plays happen. Special players, they change games. The inches that mean miles. Frozen Guard will be map 2. We've seen so many snipers banned out this tournament, and I think that this is going to run very similarly as we head into this champion draft. I think it's almost, and I'll levy this question to you both. It seems almost impossible here, though, to ban out enough to where a team at this level is really crippled and doesn't have an option.
And that's kind of where it goes to. I mean, even if you just look at that last one, well, you get rid of Makoa, you get rid of Maeve, you see the Terminus that's been doing really well, so you get rid of all the things that have been successful. And then it's like, well, Inara's still on the board. Cassie and Shaolin are still on the board. You still have the Khan that's been doing well. Kinessa and Strix, even on Jaguar Falls, even though they're not going to be there, are available. And Rock Monkey and Mutu both know they can play those really well. It's just impossible to get rid of it.
Yeah, the problem now is that on Frozen Guard, snipers are a major thing. You can see they're both banned out already, plus Shaolin. Because on this map, you can never let someone get a sniper and a Shaolin or Cassie. So they've already banned that out, and I can pretty much guarantee Cassie will be one of the first picks here.
It's been really good for Envy, and it's just solid. You get somebody who you feel can carry a game onto that carry they prefer, and that's what Envy have done. Make sure Rock Monkey is comfortable. Not the most amazing Cassie from Random Noob, but he had some great moments, I will say that. He's getting warmed up. It's game 1 for sure. But the Inara Maeve coming in for Na'Vi, that's dangerous to see.
Yeah, Maeve, so far, this entire LAN has just been a monster to deal with, and that's one of the things you have to come into this, especially when you are going for Cassie first. How do we deal with her? What is going to be our way to take down that Maeve?
Yeah, the Cassie, as you saw, just got first pick there. And normally you would pick up like the Ruckus here, like that's what's been working for us, but Cassie can actually pick up Wrecker and deal with that extremely well with Frozen Guard, so maybe Na'Vi won't end up grabbing that, and they'll just go with 2 flex tanks at the end.
I mean, he loves playing Khan, he loves playing Barrack. I wouldn't be surprised, because Na'Vi know Envy like Khan, that maybe they have a Khan pick here. They might prioritize their support and a Khan. I could see it happening if the Barrack isn't really the right taste in Phoenix's mouth, so to speak, considering they just lost with it on Jaguar Falls with a close one. Rock Monkey smiling, happy that he's going to play some Cassie today.
I'll say, I think that smile might be up there with Fish Echoes, where it's just one of those, like, you don't want to know that the other team's carry is feeling incredibly comfortable.
Well, this is a little interesting. I mean, the Genos and the Zen are open. The Yomi combo was devastating. Mutu, really one of the big highlights for Na'Vi in that last matchup, Hades.
Yeah, their lineup's looking good, but I think they're still missing something. If they're going to pick this, they're planning to dive straight in, and if they pick another tank here, I don't think it'll work for them. I think they need to pick a long range, like something good, because diving with this type of lineup with 2 tanks just doesn't work.
It's rough because, the Maeve is so flexible, and the Zen can be so dangerous and buy time for him and his teammates. But you're right. It feels like they're on the edge of committing. But if they go for more of a safer lineup, this could be trouble, especially now with the Khan and the Daba taken here for Envy.
And I think, honestly, having Terminus instead of the Ruckus there, as much as I want to say it kind of hurts in a way because you lose his damage, but you get someone that is dedicated point fight frontline, and then Khan can kind of go around the side, hang out with Cassie, hang out with Bomb King, wherever he needs to be to make sure that they get that damage amp.
And I think that's the big key here.
Yeah, they could definitely finish it off with a Ruckus here, but then again, because that's going the double tank, but at least Ruckus then can do some damage and push in with the flankers.
It'll be interesting. Obviously, this last pick taking quite a while. Oh, I like it. I was just talking, literally right outside to Metapusher, the coach of Envy, as we watched that game. And I said, I'd love to see a Tyra, but it's not. It's a Leon, and I think this was what maybe most of us might have thought they could flex on DPS-wise. Hades, this is that long range you were talking about. Is this enough, though?
Leanne was definitely the best pick, because she does have some cauterize in her cards as well to help deal with that Terminus. But the Maldumba pocketing him, you just can't kill him, so they're going to have to dive, kill this BK or Cassie instantly.
All right, well, Gore, thoughts? Who do you liking?
Honestly, I think the Maeve and the Zen are the big question mark. If they get to do what they want to do in this game, then it is going to be just hell for Envy.
Hey, do you feel Na'Vi can take this one now, or no?
Yeah, I reckon they can pull it off. The triple DPS definitely works on this map, and Inara's the strongest tank, so...
Well, they've got a good chance on the desk. Let's see if they actually have a chance in the game. Casters, take it away.
How are you going to do this to me? How are you going to bait me out with a Tyra? With the Phoenix Tyra here and change it to Leon in the last second, folks. That is just, I'm already emotionally crushed right now. I don't know about you, Shift.
Do we need to have like a group kumbaya to bring your spirits back up?
I need this sort of
or are your
space
spirits
station
already
burrito.
chosen?
Oh my god.
I'm
being
trying.
outpunned. I'm being
tried.
outpunned everywhere. But this is an interesting set of drafts. You know, when we saw the Cassie first picked and then the Maeve taken by Na'Vi, talking behind the scenes here, we go, well, they have to pick the Bomb King. As we've seen, on Stone Keep specifically, a more open map, the Maeve be counterplayed quite well by a Cassie Bomb King combo. But the rest of Team Envy's composition is relatively limited by range. The Khan doesn't do too great over long range. The Terminus is, well, not even a conversation here. It's really up to Rock Monkey and Random Noob to do a ton of damage. And this Leon's going to be looking to shut them down.
I think it needs to come down to Mr. Hayes surviving. I still have PTSD watching Crimson get bullied on this map over and over again just a couple of days ago. And he did do a really good job in the last map. He only died, I think, 2 times total. So that's huge. Already Terminus. So you can see just getting bounced right through. My goodness. He is getting some sustain from behind. But again, Mudu, he's looking to punish these frontliners anytime possible.
And Na'Vi then, they get initial capture control. Same as last game. They put the Inara on point. The Inara sits there and gets 30% for free. Now you have a rotation coming through. It's funny how Team Envy have taken the prospective right side right now, but Phoenix is entirely unpressured on the Lian. Up, standing behind these ice blocks here. Random Noob's going to try and make a way in, but Na'Vi are just counter-rotating.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. Spunky was in a really weird spot, but was able to, of course, use the Stellar Wind to get back. And Random Noob, this is the big key for me. Can Random Noob just come out on fire with the Bomb King? He's had slow starts here and there. He's had a couple of really hot games. I think it comes down to, can Bomb King start to pressure out Mudu, make sure that no one can push him. Look at this. 4 people are swarming right on top of him. That's going to be enough for first blood as Creatives picks it up. And now back to point we go. Phoenix has got another player low. That's Rock Monkey. And it's only a matter of time before Envy crumbles.
One by one, they fall down, isolated and alone. Mr. Hayes left alive with Rubu right now. Battle Shout already been used, but Phoenix finds the last nail in the coffin. Look at the stagger coming through. Honestly, there we go. Mutu finds the last kill for a bit of extra credits in pockets, but they could have even let him stay alive there as the payload cap was easy chipped. What happened with Random Noob there? That positioning was atrocious.
Well, he wanted to try to counter poke out everything that was happening by the wall, and he just kind of got swarmed. I think there was not enough quite peel as Terminus let Inara come right through the point, and it was the same thing with Mudu and Phoenix also pushing right up the middle of that road over that you see the payload moving down. It's just, it was a tough spot to be in. He wasn't getting the proper help. I think he did kind of underestimated how fast Na'Vi was going to get into his face.
They did that very well. They're also pushing incredibly quickly right now. 1 minute and 55 seconds, and the payload is only just being contested, but Creatives in the backline looking for the smell down, but right now, Midnight activated as well by the looks of things. Mr. Hayes in a lot of trouble, but the team does retreat. Envy regroup. That will buy a little bit of time until Mutu pounces down Rubu for an easy kill.
Yeah, and this is a really tough spot. If you're looking at Rock Monkey, you need to be able to get out. Fortunately, Mr. Hayes, again, is still staying alive. That was a really big moment. That Spike coming out just to put the Zin on the high ground to try to force him back. Really good distraction and good peel as well for Mr. Hayes to get away from it. Now, they need to find a way to get this defense set up. The payload is inching closer towards that underpass that will break the base, but this is one of the hardest areas in Paladins to push because, again, of the respawn proximity and the fact that they're already starting in the high ground for the defenders.
Mid-round buys come through as well for a couple of members. Mutu sitting on a Cauterize 2 here. Phoenix, though, is really sort of carrying that Cauterize weight for the team with the Death and Taxes legendary or talent so far, Shift, so not really too much of a boon there, but with 1 minute left, this payload's made it about 95% of the way through already. Unbelievable's already trying to force the front line right here, but Tolki is fighting back. Mutu looks for a kill.
Wow,
maybe he could find Random Noob here, and the pounce is good. Daggers to confirm the follow-up.
Absolutely huge call to commit to that for Mutu. It's a really smart play. He uses all of his cooldowns, but he takes away one of the biggest threats on this defense when it comes to being able to splash damage down players, because again, that Royal Subjects, my goodness, it hits, what is it, the closest good enough in Horseshoes, hand grenades, and Royal Subjects in this case.
Is that a sports reference? I feel like that's a sports reference.
If you consider Horseshoes a sport.
I kind of, but hold that thought. Where's the spike going? Creatives finds Random Noob in combination with Mutu. Here comes Seismic Crash from Unbelievable, but Tolki's just contesting this payload all the while and isn't being focused down. Now drops to the low ground. Umbi tries to force them out, but Tolki has a Massacre Axe and they slam down Unbelievable into a grave.
But that's still Rubu's the last frontliner left. He does have a little bit of his shield left. Reanimate is actually going to come out to make sure this payload does not push through. Nice focus there as Mutu does drop away, and Spunky, he sees what's happening in front of him. A whirl will be used in retreat, and this is going to be a complete disengage from Na'Vi. They've given it up. It will be, once again, another successful defense right when it matters for Team Envy.
What was the cost, though, right now, Shift? Because if we look at the fact that Reanimate was used, how critical is an ultimate like that to be involved in on the point capture for this Frozen Guard map?
It is big, but here's the thing. on Frozen Guard, that objective capture point is a very delayed and long fight. He's probably going to be able to get it back at the last moment for potentially a full-on hold when it gets to about 90% or a retake. So it's not the end of the world. I think it's really smart for him to realize that, yeah, this is not going to be a 2-minute capture. It's probably going to be more like 4 just to get things moving. So I think it's smart. He's going to get a chance to re-bring it back up and just make sure you don't go down 2 points early, I think is big.
1-1, then all tied up at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Spunky yet to die this game so far, Shift, and the Rejuvenate are starting to come out in full force for Na'Vi.
That's huge. Survivability is just what you look for, especially when it's a solo Genos. You need that help in your itemization to get that bonus healing whenever at all possible. This time through, Envy will actually take the left-hand side by what was the statue area on that high ground and then fall right back down. The impasse wall will be swiped at by Tolki, and it looks like now his scout will be used right after the Midnight gets procced. Good counter and ultimates happening at the moment.
I am a little bit curious as to why the Midnight was used there. I'd be maybe expecting it to be held in favor of waiting for the King Mom to come through.
No.
The Rubu tries to overpower Inara there, gets pounced on by Maeve. Tolki as well, about to go down, is able to stay safe for the time being, but Unbelievable is still alive. Looking to maybe trap out Random Noob here as well as Rock Monkey does retreat. Maeve goes down, Random Noob finds one kill, but Zin is ready and waiting for them. Creatives gets one. Looks for a second with their Yomi strikes here. Could find 3, but Dread Summon in response, but it just doesn't matter as Unbelievable is there. Rock Monkey does survive for the time being. However, Na'Vi have 72% on the objective and rising.
But the stagger is actually not so bad because now the damage dealers can come through. You need to find this Inara right now. Rubu gets it. So now again, this is what we're dealing with, is a retake for Envy. They need to sit on point. They cannot let this go whatsoever. They're going to have all 5 here. How good is the zone going to be? Tolki, you got to be careful. You can't die there. You don't have to reanimate. He will be able to come back to possibly keep this point in control, but that's a poor death right there for the side of the Terminus.
And now you are fighting a 4v5 as Team Envy. You have Scout available. Should be used relatively soon, maybe to enable Random Noob TV's ultimate here as King Mom is channeled, coming through, looking for the Maeve, who pounces up into the air. Wasted King Mom from Random Noob there, unable to find anybody, and it is just up to the Grumpy Bomb to try and buy some zone. Poppy to relocate towards Spunky, but Phoenix is there to respond. Tolki has respawned here as well, but again, reanimate not available. This is dangerous for Team Envy.
And all that time that he was dead, it wasn't just the fact that he died, but when you're dead, you don't charge your ult as fast as you possibly could be, so that reanimate we were talking about at the beginning of the round will not actually get back to 100%. Midnight just being used to make sure that everything is going to go the way of Na'Vi. It looks like it will. Just a small misplay there again for Envy kind of results in this 99 to 99%, but again, at the end of the day, the end of the round, Na'Vi walks away with the payload, 2-1 the score.
And that's 2 captures in a row that they've had, Shift. That's 600 extra credits in their pockets. We already see them going into, I don't want to say luxury items at this point in terms of Rejuvenate, which is a relatively cheap item to go into, but it's still a super valuable one. So look at those credits in hand right now. Expect Phoenix to come back maybe with a record 3. Mutu will definitely have a cauterized 3, and that net worth chart is really starting to pull ahead.
It's plateaued pretty severely. It's 400 credits between the bottom player on Na'Vi and the top player on Envy. So you look at this, the polarity from top to bottom, it's really stark when you see your Bomb King's not able to even come close to the damage dealing net worth that you're seeing from Na'Vi. But back to the point, we have 1 minute 50 seconds. Payload, of course, in its first biggest choke point in this little underpass. And this is really tough to break. You know, for the offense, a lot of the conversation, especially with what time we have in the clock, do you use something to break this for an ultimate to get through? But Tolki will make that easy decimation, absolutely decimates Phoenix, and now has to deal with Mutu in his face.
Watch out there, Tolki. 1 pounce came through, 9 lives reset, so that is available again, but Tolki holds out of line of sight and does just wait for the health to come back through. Decimation again doing a lot of work. Mutu could set up here for some extra damage, but Tolki's playing this distance relatively well, sort of stepping back and forth out of melee range, making it a bit more difficult for Mutu to commit here.
And he's going to have to disengage as well, just because Unbelievable had no way of getting away. So it will be a stall once again. This is actually a better defense starting for Envy.
Much better.
Much better.
I mean, this choke point was broken in what seemed like seconds last round. They're only able to really hold in their base. Now they're holding much further forwards. 60 seconds left on the clock here, Shift. Phoenix on the right side of the offense here, looking to box out with Rock Monkey. Finds the kill. Beautiful presence there, makes herself known. Enlightenment could be used here, and it is to find Mr. Hayes in the backline. Phoenix stays alive with under 200 health. Now Mutu's looking for Random Noob, resets their cooldowns. Prowl is available, and Random Noob can't even get back in a base. This is absolutely huge for Na'Vi.
Phoenix, are you kidding me? You don't play damage dealers. What are you doing getting triple kills on Leanne? That's insane. Now with 30 seconds left, Na'Vi has a chance to push this forward. What else could potentially be used to get this 3rd point if they're even able to commit it? Again, the payload is moving just underneath this underpass. Envy needs to make a move quick.
Envy needs to be very careful here. Random Noob in a lot of trouble. Does find Mutu though, and that takes Midnight off the table right now. So Envy do have that boon in their pocket. Na'Vi trying to force their way through, have backed off slightly, looking to maybe send Unbelievable on a bit of a flank. Creative's in base, is caught out 1v4 there, so no surprises. And again, Na'Vi look like they might be able to give this one up. Overtime will start as Unbelievable is able to contest here, but Random Noob has their number, and yeah, that's a non-committal offense right there. Team Envy will be able to hold all 5 ultimates in the tank.
Wow, and again, I think that just again goes to show how hard it really is to get this second point when you're trying to push through your opponent's base. This is an insane play from Phoenix. You're going up against Rock Monkey. As of 2 weeks ago, people were saying the best damage dealer in the game, and then the snipe out Mr. Hayes. Goodness gracious, what a play.
Incredible stuff there coming through from Phoenix as well, really rolling across the keyboard, pressing all those Q and the right mouse buttons and stuff to do the things. But Phoenix, so far on this Leon, is really exceeding expectations, I think. The pressure which is coming through from Death and Taxes is really being enabled by the fact that Phoenix's precision has been on point throughout this match. Second in the damage charts right now, only led by Rock Monkey on the Cassie, who, interestingly enough, has gone into a nimble 2 here shift.
It is interesting, right? Because he starts the day off with a level 1 Haven, that's 10% reduction, and a level 1 Rejuvenate. And then just says, you know what? I need to mimic the mobility.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, I mean, Mutu's mobility is insane. Creative's mobility is insane. And Leanne, of course, can be slippery. So I actually like the pickup. Now an Overpower to start things off. Doesn't even need to shoot Unbelievable off. He gets melted immediately. And this is Random Noob looking for a backline ultimate.
Trying to find somebody with a King Bomb here. Comes in, ends up just being zoning. But that Spunky falls all the way back to base. And this is a really, really big swath of space carved out between frontline and backline now.
Good Midnight.
Na'Vi could be burned down, but the Midnight is good enough to save here. And Mutu can find Rock Monkey the Pounce combo.
It's not just the Midnight to help get that kill on the Rock Monkey, it's a Midnight to help bring the team back together safely, and Mutu's able to find a second kill on Random Noob, who again was lingering, trying to zone. So now an opportunity for Na'Vi. Dread Serpent being used, Mutu will take down one more, and Mr. Hayes is the next target in line. It looks like he will fall from Phoenix's weaponry, and the Emerald Heirloom Rifle will be enough to take him down. 75% is where it stalls for Envy.
No reanimate used right there. If Team Envy can get there, Tolkien back on the objective. I say Tolkien because Tolkien plays nothing but Terminus to an impeccable level right now. They might be able to recontest, but Na'Vi are doing a good job of zoning so far. Random Noob has already gone down, and Phoenix sets up on the peripheral right-hand side here to look for some dismounts. Tolkien off the mount. Rock Monkey does force their way in, but Enlightenment is here. Could be used. Rock Monkey goes down. Mutu tries to find the kill as well with Pounce. Tolkien getting there in just enough time. No. The water's field placement from Unbelievable is impeccable, and that slow is just enough to secure capture.
And again, if you take a look, Leanne is one of those characters where if you can get the kill off Enlightenment, it doesn't matter what's happening, where it is, just use it, because you're going to be able to get the 50% charge back if you successfully get a kill with it, and that's what happens there. So again, good use there. It's a 1-on-3 situation, a good poke coming out from the presence, from all the different auto-aim abilities from Phoenix's kit, and then it's just one more click of the E key to take down and make that a more fair fight.
And that's such a big ultimate to be able to use, Shift. A lot of people, as you mentioned, they save it in the tank. They go, I got to use this to save myself, as it does provide you with damage and crowd control immunity during the channel frames, but it can be used even just to break apart a fight in some circumstances.
Speaking of breaking down a fight, how about Random Noob on this high ground for free right now, able to find Phoenix and looking for more sticky bombs right over the middle, but a really good impasse wall actually blocks away almost the entire entrance, well, I guess exit in this instance, from Envy's defense. And now a minute 30, Payload has stalled again in this very dangerous choke point.
High ground controlled right now by Na'Vi. Random Noob is being forced back. Mutu going right up into their face right now, but counter is elapsed. Billow comes through just to escape, and Random Noob gets to the high ground, gets out of dodge for the time being. 1 minute and 18 seconds left on this push shift. Na'Vi can win here off a successful conversion, but will they commit the ultimates?
Actually, surprisingly, a big moment there as Tolkien's able to hit one more Calamity Blast on what was the billowing away Xin, so that's a big kill there. If he escapes, it's a totally different situation. This is another 30 seconds killed off the clock for Team Envy because of that small little play. But again, if he misses that Calamity Blast, we're looking at a different situation. Now Na'Vi has to find a way to commit. Rubu in some trouble, will battle shot away. Random Noob on the high ground again. He does have a King Bomb, but I don't see him using it unless it comes down to dire situations.
Random Noob's map knowledge as well right now is coming really into play. You can see all these angles being covered. Finds Mutu though, instant detonation. Na'Vi lose one critical flanker out of that composition right now and immediately start to back away.
I like the call. You know, I'm surprised that he decided to pull it there, considering the positioning that Envy has. But hey, just don't even worry about it. Just get yourself back into this fight. And again, Bomb King does charge his ultimate pretty quickly, especially if he is dealing mass splash damage. But still 20 seconds left. Anything can happen. The Power Siphon used to help peel away Rubu so he can escape with his life, and he'll do so successfully. And again, now we're down to just about the 10-second mark before overtime. And with that kill coming out, do you see Na'Vi just kind of soaking some credits from the payload and then disengaging?
They might be looking to find a way, and if they can pick off Tolkien here, it could be huge. Mutu as well is right in the base of Team Envy right now, and they do have Midnight available, but Creatives only just coming back on the respawn is so far away. It's up to Mutu to distract, to buy time, to remove some of the focus from Unbelievable, but Phoenix uses Enlightenment, doesn't find a kill here. Na'Vi look like they might be wanting to hit the gas pedal. Creatives has rejoined. Midnight could be used here. 1 pounce reset. Rock Monkey just gets back into base. But here come the ultimates.
Oh, Spite was used just to get to the high ground as well. Mutu in the backline, he's able to find one. Rock Monkey hit this last shot. He will finally. Overtime still in effect. It is going to fade away very quickly if they step off point. Creative's falling. So now Na'Vi has used a handful of ultimates that have not resulted into any kind of kills. If they can take down Unbelievable, this should be a successful defense. It will be. And now going into this next fight, take a look at Team Envy. Random Noob gets his ultimate back to 97% after he triggered it at the 45-second mark.
Really, really good defensive play from all of Team Envy right there. I mean, Shift, we're 15 minutes in. This is a long game. We're 3-3 all tied up. And Na'Vi were wishy-washy on their committal there. They used the Spite, but they didn't use the Midnight, which could have been used to set up all of those plays. They used the Enlightenment as well to not find any kills here, seemingly unnecessarily, maybe just to avoid some incoming damage.
I think at that, no, he was looking for the kill, to be honest, on Darubu. The shield was about to fall away. It was starting to get all pixelated and decrepified, and that was enough to possibly spur that decision-making from Phoenix to say, if I can take down Rubu here, we've got an opportunity. And I think that's the call. The Spite is used immediately afterwards. Just unfortunately for Na'Vi, does not connect quite the way it planned out.
Deftan's Cassie coming through now. Team Envy have a few extra credits to burn, and they just want to get that reload coming through. I mean, what else are you going to go into? You've got your utility, your anti-heal is already coming through from stuff like kinetics, but now hold that thought. Maeve activates Midnight. Mutu's looking for somebody, finds Random Noob. 1 pounce comes through. Can Unbelievable secure the kill? Wow. Yes, they can.
Really good play from Unbelievable. He's in a little bit of a stone-on-stone battle on the point, and Mutu, he sees where Random Noob is, makes the call, and Unbelievable says, all right, I'm going to come help you out with this kill. Ends up finding it's a big first kill in this opening spur. Tolkien drops. Will he use the reanimate? I can't imagine he will here, but oh my gosh, I'm wrong as he comes through, impasse through, and now time and space. It puts Tolkien down to 1 HP, and that's a waste if I've ever seen one for the Terminus. A big moment for Na'Vi.
Big 1-2 combo comes through. Random Noob tries to find the flank. Actually has their King Bomb available. Looks towards the objective here. Could find Unbelievable, but ends up just wasting the ultimate. That's 2 that we've seen through from Random Noob so far, but Creative's well straight on in, straight towards in, gets overpowered and taken down. Can we see the Dread Serpent provide some space here? Will they be able to collapse? Team Envy are looking for a way back in, but Mutu is prowling around the outside.
Yeah, and Mr. Hayes, he needs to kind of decide, who am I going to heal? Am I going to heal Tolkien on point so he can battle with Unbelievable? Or do I need to heal up my damage dealers so they can help put some damage into the point? It's not going to make a difference as Tolkien does fall. Coming back in now, Rubu has to fight. It's 69% and still counting for Na'Vi. Finally getting stalled to the 45% of Envy. A big moment. If they need to find a kill if you're Envy, no one's even all that low. But now finally, Mutu's 1 shot away. Random Noob having some trouble with the boxes, not able to take him down, and Creatives will punish.
Look at that reactive peel coming through from Na'Vi. They're 99%. It's only Rubu on the objective. Battle Shout buys a second, but the respawns are staggered right now for all of Team Envy. Overtime is ticking. It's still in contest. Rock Monkey in the backline gets Enlightenment in their face, but actually picks up a double kill. That's huge.
And he stays alive. How is he alive right now? Tolkien's still on point contesting. It's overtime, 99%, but Mutu will burst through the power siphon. Rock Monkey has to come in big, but he's not going to get the chance to. Na'Vi just narrowly hold on, but wow, Rock Monkey made a show of it.
Almost made the clutch play right there. Almost bought enough time for the rest of the team to come back on through, but in the end, it was that Maeve pounce able to obliterate Tolkien, which just wiped everybody off the board. And that was really, I think, a lot of this game for Team Envy. They were always fighting into this Maeve. They had a very difficult time doing so, and the reactive peel coming through from Na'Vi has been impeccable.
And you have to wonder, again, the Terminus falls early. They decide to use the reanimate in the beginning of that fight. You wonder what happens. Rock Monkey picks up a huge double kill. If Tolkien has the reanimate there, it gives them enough time to kill that, you like to say it, the EU conga line, and potentially have a full chance to actually contest, but not the case.
Unfortunately, that EU conga line is a lot of what we saw here, folks. It's been a phenomenal game too. A 4-3 victory in over 15 minutes. It's been a long one. Desk, what do you think?
Honestly, it's a lot of ultimates gone wrong, and I know that NA ult had to be spammed in chat multiple times in that game for Random Noob, and bless his heart, because it was really difficult. He was getting double, triple teamed throughout the course of that game.
I mean, there's actually at one point early on where the 4 members of Na'Vi collapse on him, and I was a little confused because I was like, why are they getting that far into Envy's backline? And then I realized that it was Random Noob who was in Na'Vi's backline. I was like, okay, well, now that makes a lot more sense. I don't know what he was hoping to accomplish back there, but it just never seemed to go his way because he did it a few times in the map.
What went wrong, Hates?
Well, I think that Terminus ult in particular, I think he actually had to use it there. He might have got called out because the team's coming back and you have to stall the point out so your team has time to get back. Otherwise, might have been a loss right there.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate situation because he really could have saved it, and it would have been better at a later point in that fight, but you never know if you'll even get back. And you dying with the reanimate and losing the game with that still available, that just hurts. I don't know. You know, Navi to me bounced back in a really nice way. And the way that they focused out Random Noob, this was super intentional. They said, this guy is, if we can get him off the board, if we can get the Bomb King, the Grumpy Bombs away, and Nara can have an advantage in that fight against Terminus on the point, and we can win this game. And they were fantastic about executing that.
And there was a lot of, well, now, okay, here's Mutu getting aggressive on Maeve. And then the minute he gets low, falls back. Creatives or Phoenix takes his place to get the damage. So they were just constantly applying shots, whereas on the other side, they were never quite able to lock down the kill. I can't count how many times Mutu got out one hit away.
And Phoenix on Lian was highly underestimated.
Highly.
They let it go through in the last pick, and I think they kind of forgot about it because she's extremely viable. I know Burrito actually loves this character, and a lot of teams have been running it. But it's just been forgot about because usually Charlene and Cassie are up. And this time they were banned.
Yeah, and you know, it comes through in a way that feels under the table, under the radar, and you're not thinking about this as the main threat, but it ends up being such a priority for them. And in fact, I mean, really what keeps their momentum going, a lot of that said. It wasn't, you can't directly point to that being the reason they won that third fight, but at the end of the day, a lot of those pushes, a lot of those points were won by great enlightenments or just great pressure.
And it's just one of those things, I mean, you get rid of the Shaolin because you're like, well, Creatives can play this and Phoenix can play this. So we at least cripple two of them there. And it's like, well, Phoenix has a little bit more than just the Shaolin. He hasn't shown it as much lately, but now you see that and you're just like, well, how do we deal with this? This guy can play frontlines. This guy can play at least 2 DPS that are going to cause a lot of trouble for us. They just have to draft a little bit stronger, I think, for Envy.
What's funny to me is that actually talking to Metapusher again back there, Phoenix is good friends with Rock Monkey and Rubu, and in fact, Meta had to carry him out of Rock and Rubu's room last night at, I think, 12 a.m. so that they could get some sleep for this matchup. But during that process, he said that Phoenix is just, getting himself down on purpose. I only got 30 kills yesterday on Stone Keep, getting upset in order to give himself more motivation today. So he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Do you think that's a viable strategy to make something like that happen, Hades?
Definitely not. He's crazy, so most people want to try and get hyped up, but maybe he was just trying to get in the head of the enemy team.
That's true.
Pretending he's feeling out of it. I don't really like Leanne. Don't ban that out.
Oh, my Leon sucks this tournament, man. Like, I don't even know if she's open, if I'd even play it. Well, he clearly did. Frozen Guard always interesting, and so is Frogile, because, the typical bans like Jaguar Falls, we saw Envy take a pretty commanding position there. But when the snipers are banned, it opens up a lot of damage dealers that usually are not on the table, like the Maeve. And so, again, Navi's going to have a chance to combine that with the Inara.
So this has always been really interesting, because Cassie, it feels like it's really hit or miss. And I'm kind of worried that they let the Maeve through. Inara, though, is in that area where it's really a pain for you to deal with, but Envy have shown that they can deal with it, especially when if it's a solo frontline from Unbelievable. They have the opportunities to. Last game it didn't go their way, but it was mainly because of, again, Mutu and Phoenix.
Inara's a sponge, man. She really is a sponge. If you work the Stone Spear, you can contribute to some meaningful fights, but you need your teammates to support you and give you that stuff to be soaked up, so to speak. Shaolin and Cassie, again, going for Envy. They got that game won, and it worked out for him, Hayes.
Yeah, I feel like Maeve on this map can either work or not.
Yeah.
And I feel like if Na'Vi was versing Fnatic here, they wouldn't have picked Maeve, because I know us and Fnatic really don't like the Maeve on this map, because you can counter it with things like the Cassie Shaolin, and then you just get a Terminus to hold the point and just not die, basically.
And it's just one of those things for Frog Isle. I mean, flanks have always been, I feel like people want to bring them here, and then sometimes it's going to perform phenomenally, and sometimes it's like, I saw you like 20 feet before you were even close to me. I shot you, killed you, and you just had no impact that entire game.
Well, Dama here, but it could be a con as well. We saw Na'Vi actually use this to great effect, and it is going to be the con. I had a feeling it seemed like a team that understood a strategy that was successful in trying to go back to it.
Yeah, to have the Maeve, they really needed the double tank, because they need to be in their side of the map. They need to be in their jungle.
Right.
If they're not, then the Maeve can't get to the backline. They can't flank.
And that's a problem for Envy now, because they can flank. Khan and the May, that's going to be a dangerous pair. And so they're going to run the Barrack. How do you feel about that?
I mean, this one's kind of interesting, because I feel like we've only really seen European teams, specifically in Fnatic and Na'Vi, kind of pick this up and showcase what he can do. But I feel like Envy have done exactly what you would expect out of a team like this. They've seen why it works, how it works, and now they're like, okay, I think we can run this the way they run it. Let's try to use their own strategy against them.
We know Phoenix will be on the con, so now I guess the question is, where will Creatus play? This could be a pip. I mean, he could try it. He didn't have a great game against Fnatic yesterday on Bright Marsh, but what other option are you looking at? BK is still open.
Yeah, they might go to the Lian again.
Wow.
They really don't like those off healers. Like, if this was G2, that'd be straight pip, but yeah, I don't think they're going to go with it.
So the Lian now. Phoenix is usually the one piloting both of those things. But it's going to be a Zen. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. We've seen Mutu and Creative swap on these champions more. I was going to say, Phoenix on that con. Who's playing Leon? Who's on first? Well, who do you guys have going into this one? Both teams taking a game. It's a best of 5, now turned into a best of 3. Thoughts on this matchup?
I'm going to have to give it similar to game number 1. Cassie, Shala, Genos. That combo is really strong, and I think because it's Frog Isle, nice long lines of sight, they should be able to take it on Envy.
Hades?
It really depends on how they play it. I'm going to call this one like a dead tie.
Dead tie. Well, somebody's got to win. Let's send it to our casters and get started on figuring out who.
Thanks, guys. And of course, Vox and Shift back in here for Game 3. I mean, 2 games in a row going 4-3. This is a close set already. And now with more of an echo of that first draft. I'm excited to see how this one goes, but I've got to say, Na'Vi have a more difficult execution threshold for me.
Yeah, that's actually the word I was going to use. You know, Hades brings it up as going to be a dead tie. It really will come down to who executes, and I think you're absolutely right in that opinion. When it comes to Na'Vi's going to have the higher threshold to make up to execute properly. Definitely the map and the topography is going to favor that Shala and Cassie. The big question for me is, can Phoenix and Unbelievable bully out the front line of Tolki and Rubu? That's where I think the fight needs to start if you're looking at Na'Vi.
I think, honestly, maybe yes, because Unbelievable has the ability to use Water's Field to disrupt Barak very successfully here. Mr. Hayes going into a loadout right now on the Janos with Astral Cycle 5 and Retrograde 5, so really just focused on providing maximum healing for everybody.
That's pretty stock, and then the Light Years, of course, being leveled up to at least level 2. I mean, you want that Astromark to be up as much as possible and last as long as possible. That's why you see them usually going to Chronos as well. But on the point first, once again, Na'Vi is going to touch. Tolki's going to contest a little bit earlier than they had previously. Again, this point is such a funnel when it comes to that frontline battle.
Tolki's just looking here to maybe catch some shots, get that decimation damage coming up online, but Creators finds Tolki immediately after Mutu ends up landing one of those pounces, removing the majority of their health pool, and that's really the issue that Team Envy have to fight into. If they let this Maeve get close to their front line, they're in a lot of danger.
Well, as we see this kind of unfold, you're going to see the same kind of setup from Na'Vi almost every single time, where Mutu and Phoenix are going to be on this left-hand side to try to control that low ground, while everyone else is going to try to make sure that the platform stays free. But this time through, Mutu actually gets found early on, so Tolki can come through and contest. And again, this is such a teeter-totter, kind of a tug-of-war style of game. Rock Monkey finding himself his second kill in that little double kill fashion, and now looking for a long-range shot through the window. Not quite to the wall.
It was a very hesitant commit there from the side of Team Envy, though. They could have easily sent Random Noob or Rock Monkey in just to take out that Inara a little bit earlier, put the pressure on a Xin, but they sort of held this stage for a little while longer, not really focusing on Stagger, I think, more just focusing on, we don't know what's there and waiting for us.
Oh,
Mutu
what a
now
shot.
is waiting on the right-hand side, gets clipped by a long-range shot from this bow. Got to be careful here, Rock Monkey. You are poked out low, but Shimmer reset of withdraw enables him to escape if necessary. Heat Haze is now ready, and that could be the gas pedal to ignite this fire.
96% to 87 in favor of Na'Vi, and there's that Heat Haze you mentioned. Creative's in a very awkward spot, not sure who he wants to focus down. He's got Tolki low. Tolki, you can't step off this for too long. He will, and with the kill coming out from Random Noob, it's going to come down to who can survive on the point the longest. Rock Monkey will also drop. Inara the whole time was a little bit low, but not able to contest was Team Envy, so at 2 minutes and 38 seconds, we'll have Na'Vi with their first payload.
I mean, honestly, Shift, that was a 1 health Inara. That was a 1 shot from Rock Monkey, takes this champion down, and it just wasn't committed to by Team Envy. They were too distracted and too split between trying to decide if they wanted to deal with the Khan, trying to decide if they wanted to deal with the Maeve, and not focusing on the objective enough. They need to channel their inner Elven path and get on the point.
Objective points are it's the only way you win the game.
Pretty
By
much.
getting your objective time.
I'd say pretty much only much right at this point. And Muti's just looking for some extra poke onto these frontliners before using the pounce to be able to commit. But interesting dome shield from Rubu. That's a momentum shift if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just a delay tactic. Wow, nice shot there from Random Noob, able to find the last bit of connection he needed on Mutu. Now Rock Monkey picking up some of the slack. Spunky in a very dangerous spot. He'll also drop away as these again, double-wielding bows are just dealing so much damage so quickly. But I like the Dome Shield just because, again, you could actually see both Genos and Cassie were low HP, and that just created some space for them to get re-healed back up. Not really much gain, not really much lost. It's just Team Envy now with a solid setup for their defense.
Yeah, Team Envy have more of the control of the pacing right now. They have the distance, which is what you really need to be able to utilize the Cassie and the Charlene well, rather than letting the Xin or the Maeve get up close to you. Look at the mid-round buys, though, coming through from Na'Vi right now. They've got a Cauterize 2 online for Mutu and Phoenix. Creative's holding something in the tank, maybe looking to go into maybe a Cauterize later on, but it's getting poked out pretty significantly, and it is yet to die as well.
That's big, I think, when it comes down to, again, the mobility bonus that Na'Vi has with the fact that you have the Maeve, but also Creatives who's so slippery. Oh, and now an Overpowered being used will actually send one off the map. That's Rubu, who goes away for a little bit of a swim. Takes a little journey on Bon Voyage. He goes. Creatives looking for a spite right into the face of Random Noob, who will actually be able to juggle him pretty nicely with a good disengage arrow. But meanwhile, the front line still being torn apart as Tolkien does get taken down by Unbelievable. He has Reanimate, but he's not going to use it here.
No, the rest of Team Envy do back off right now. There's only 33 seconds left on this push. Na'Vi have a way to go before this payload could go through. They might commit ultimates. They do have Seismic Crash and also Dread Serpent left available, but Team Envy are just waiting for the opportunity to engage before they can stagger the respawns of Na'Vi appropriately. Unbelievable focus down by the longbow. Mutu taken out by Random Noob here, and Tolkien finding double damage Massacre Axe Swings onto the front line of Na'Vi puts them in a very bad situation as Random Noob goes unstoppable.
I want to talk about just the small moments that matter most. You saw Creatives, he dove right into the face of Rock Monkey. Fortunately, he had a withdrawal, so it was the burst mobility forward for Creatives, the withdraw away for Rock Monkey. He's able to hit 2 more shots, which takes Creatives down and allows Tolkien to move forward. That's really, really big. Those small little moments are really, really crucial when it comes down to, A, if you're a flanker, how do you commit? When do you commit? But B, as a backline damage dealer, how do you get away and punish those committals?
Well, here's a really big question on who you should commit on right now for Na'Vi shift. Team Envy have Random Noob on a 9 streak, 8-0-1 currently. This is a champion who has gone or a character and a player who's gone unchecked the entire duration of this game so far. And even though the focus has been maybe more onto Rock Monkey, onto Tolkien on the front line, Random Noob has been a consistent damage output throughout the duration, and that is a problem.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of the big value. If you, this is your first pick. You need to make sure it's worth that merited first pick, and so far, absolutely the case. Looking for potentially a disengage arrow off the side. Can he possibly take one down? No, it's the commander's grab just to push him forward as Phoenix almost got knocked off from what would have been the most pog champs of disengage arrows.
Look out, Mutu is brought low as well. Random Noob finding a lot of mid-air shots. Heat haste used by Rock Monkey here to try and get the outplay on the Creatives. Recognize they can't get the kill with them in Billow, but follows them and tracks them down.
Wow,
nice impale.
play.
Nice shot to follow up. Tolkien also takes out Phoenix, and this should be point capture control coming back in favor of Team Envy with the Reanimate finding the second kill in a row.
Beautiful play, and actually during that heat haze, you saw for a second Rock Monkey was trying to track down Spunky, but Spunky was too slippery. Just good discipline to know that that Billow was about to expire, hit the impale, get the quick shots, and turn around with the planted. Really, really great play and awareness from Team Envy.
60% and rising. No capture boost online for either team right now, so Team Envy does have and holds control right now, but Na'Vi can re-engage. They have the Dread Serpent. They might look for it through time and space. Can be challenged as well, but Unbelievable is so low from all that incoming poke, and here's the Dome Shield just to buy some time.
That's a beautiful use of Dome Shield preemptively to make sure that if you do commit, you're going to get burned alive, and that's going to be enough to take Unbelievable down once again. Now the Midnight, can Mutu make the play to turn this around? He wants to take down the Barrack, but it's too slippery, and Team Envy will just stand on point, take it away, and get a couple of trailing kills. 2-1 now for Envy.
I mean, Na'Vi had the right idea. They want to use the Midnight to be able to focus down a lot of the players on the side of Team Envy, those backline champions, the immortal Random Noob right now. But again, it's the objective focus that really matters here, and the Yanara's unable to sit there and just contest a Terminus for that long.
Wow, what a play. And again, Mutu had to make something happen, but look at the stat line. 1, 7, and 3. This is by far one of the more staggering outperformances we've seen. Usually the Maeve is the one who's carrying it through. Not so much here, as again, the double bows are just too much pressure for Mutu.
It's the value of that impulse shot in combination with the Charlene arrow. If both of these bows hit the same champion at once, if they're a flanker like Maeve, they will just end up dying. I'm not even sure if the damage reduction is enough to save her at that point, unless she stacked both of those on top of each other. But so far, Na'Vi have been able to send a lot of Team Envy back to base, notably Random Noob.
Oh,
there
big.
we go. That's the first death so far this game, and that is a big mid-round buy.
It's not just that, it's Mutu also gets the instant ultimate charge because of that kill streak. It was so high. It was a 23, I believe. It's, again, insane considering that this map is so bloody. Usually by the time we get halfway through, it's just one of those things that one kill can open up the potential for a full team wipe. And the fact that it's been Rock Monkey and the side of Random Noob trying to find their way through, it's been big. That's a really good play from Unbelievable, blocking with the impasse wall and the Warder's Field, just taking away the Heat Haze. And now Creatives in the back line will help take down Rubu. And this is, again, Team Envy staggering into this offense.
Should be a full reset right now from Team Envy. If anything, I'm wondering why they're not jumping straight off the map here. Mr. Hayes and Random Noob both give up kills to Unbelievable here. And Tolki is being kept alive by Impasse and
Wow.
Waters Field and straight up body blocking through from these players. So buying some more time, staggering the respawn shift. Why is that so valuable on Frog Isle specifically?
It's just one of those things that the tables can turn so quickly in terms of positioning, and that was actually a really awesome moment from Unbelievable. Typically, we see the PogChamp play of Makoa pulling people back onto the map to delay that. That time through is an impasse wall to stop him from going over the edge. It's really good to, again, keep that stagger alive, kill time off the clock, get yourself the map positioning you want for the defense. And again, here's Tolki. He gets void gripped up, and that's going to be, or pardon me, not void gripped up, but he gets found up by the impasse wall, and that's going to be enough for him to go down. And Mutu with a double kill, finally getting himself back online here in this defense.
And again, another reset coming through from Team Envy. They'll give this one up, Shift. There's no real reason to commit here. Maybe you can pick up an extra kill here or there, and yeah, Tolki's going to back away as well as Mr. Hayes. Give it up, go 2-2 in 10 minutes on the clock, and save some of those all-important ultimates, with Team Envy having 4, and Na'Vi also matching that.
This is a big point here, you know, because this is essentially a full-on reset. It is 2-2, obviously, and it looks like Hayes' prediction is coming true. We're just going to get a dead tie.
Seems to be the case right now, and both of these teams are excelling in different parts of these fights.
Look at this impasse wall.
Oh, this is beautiful. Commander's grab as well to pull them back onto the map, and then the block just buys a little bit of time. A couple of extra seconds. I'm be getting credit for that one. Again, helping just top him off to the full seismic crash available to be used at the start of this next round.
Man, this is going to be such a hot fight.
It's going to be a bit of a slap fight.
Yeah.
Team Envy are going to get their last ultimate. Rock Monkey's Heat Haze up a little bit faster than the Dread Serpent from Spunky. But having a late Dread Serpent in a fight can be really impactful.
Huge.
Once everybody else has already burned their ultimates. How do you react to it?
Don't, and not on short terms. And now coming forward is going to be a seismic crash, but it finds absolutely nothing. So this is big. The Spite was also used just to try to get into the face and follow up on what would have been a big stun, but it does only provide positioning for now. Envy looking to recommit. The Scout was used early, and now coming back, it is going to be Phoenix and Rubu trading away their lives with one another.
Barrack's already gone down. That is a problem. No Dome Shield to hold the objective, but still Unbelievable is trying to stay alive. Here comes the Heat Haze from Charlene. Good impasse wall to block the reanimate damage. Tolki takes out Spunky though, and that's a really big one with Spunky getting caught by it. Tolki finds a double kill. Tolki finds a triple kill. As down goes Creatives as well, and Team Envy are back on point.
Wow, what a play from Tolki. And again, props up to Rock Monkey as well, because the impasse wall goes up to block the damage from Reanimate, but he actually uses the Heat Haze to continue bursting down Inara. So that way, when the impasse wall expires, Tolki just has to swing a couple of those Massacre Axe hits, and it's enough for the not only just that one kill, but he follows up with 2 more. And now still, they have Dome Shield available to help control this point.
Rubu has to be very careful here. Can't afford to get pounced down. You are the only saving grace to the point right now with the Dome Shield, but positioning is bad, and Na'Vi capitalize on that very, very well. It's 69% to Team Envy shift, but 78% and rising now for Na'Vi, and without the ability to get back on point easily, I feel like Na'Vi have got this one.
Tolki's going to give it a go, still mounted at the moment is Rubu. That's the character right there on the right-hand side of your screen. Can he get here and help out? It doesn't make too much of a difference. The Dome Shield will be used, but I don't think it's going to be for much more than a valiant effort as there's kills happening all over the place. Rubu trying to rocket boots around, but there's just too many red jerseys around. He will fall, the 99% overtime expiring. Wait, is that a Heat Haze that was just used as well?
I think it was, and Rock Monkey immediately evaporated by Mutu there. Just probably the pounce confirming that last bit of damage as Creative sets up with Yomi strikes to try and provide some zone. And I've got to say that was one decision. That was the positioning of Barrack specifically that ended up losing that fight for Team Envy. If Rubu hadn't gone down, if Rubu hadn't been picked by Maeve, Dome Shield would have been on the objective, and you have a bit more time that you can buy for a better grouping.
Yeah, but at the same point, it's just good conversion of Na'Vi to put the bodies onto Rubu to make sure he isn't able to get that chance. So kind of, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of another when you it depends on the perspective you're looking at it. Now a Spite also coming into the back line. Again, this is Rock Monkey having himself a battle with Creatives. The Planet comes out. Oh my goodness, he finds the kill just before the counter could completely come up. What a play from that Rock Monkey, able to take down one, and now moving forward as Team Envy for the early defense.
This is a really good statement for Team Envy. They're able to hold Navi back, and that is critical with the payload already having made its way 2/3 of the push duration. Unbelievable could get staggered here as well. It's just being forced back. Should be able to get out with Spunky healing them up all the while, but Team Envy are in a much better position to, again, utilize their long line of sight damage coming out of Cassie and Charlene to be able to zone away Navi.
You know, props up to Genos for staying in the ball game for healing, but again, it's still a pretty staggering difference just in the inherent ability of Spunky and all the healing in his kit versus the Genos, who again is running that Luminary. Now coming forward to the impasse wall, creates some space, but through space and time comes in. It's enough to find some health pools, not a full kill. Rock Monkey and Random will actually trade away. One gets the kill, one gets the death, and it's now numbers for Na'Vi, a 4-on-3.
It is 3-2 in the point score right now. Na'Vi can commit ultimates here to maybe get the victory, and it looks like they're trying to do that. Random Noob has found Maeve though, so that is a big kill, and the respawns are starting to come through for Frontline, but Creatives is zoning so well. Unbelievable is still alive. Tolkien makes their way back to the battlefield, but Random Noob is being pressured significantly here, and Tolkien is in a lot of trouble. Heat Haze used on defense now by Team Envy. They know that they have to hold on. They've got to find an important kill here, but Zin in the backline locks down Random Noob, and that just buys more and more time for Na'Vi to regroup.
They have to find this kill. Creatives is still alive, and now is getting healed through this. This is a big moment as Dome Shield will pop up for Rubu. They need to find a kill, though. No one's dying from the side of Na'Vi. It's so slippery. Unbelievable. Pushes into Rock Monkey. Now Mr. Hayes is looking at this saying, how can I keep the Terminus alive? It doesn't look good.
Tolkien goes down, has the reanimate, comes back to life immediately, but Impasse blocks all of that. Spunky has already found a double kill. The Gord on the ground is doing so much damage comparatively. Spunky finds 3 in a row. Random Noob answers back with 1, and that might be enough. Held in the air. Down goes Spunky. Oh my goodness, Mr. Hayes, I can't believe you're doing this.
He stays alive for just long enough to allow the chance for the Barrack to come in and contest, but Rock Monkey gets found by Mudu, and now it's only a matter of time. Mudu finds the double kill, helps it go through, and Na'Vi will tilt the series in their favor now, 2-1.
Such a close ending fight there. Some really clutch plays from Team Envy, but right at the end, Maeve coming back is your tide turner. When you haven't got the Cassie alive to be able to respond to that, when you've got the Pounce to be able to quickly deal with frontliners, it's overwhelming and played and executed extremely well by Na'Vi.
And again, execution, I think, is the biggest thing when you think about it is, how do you tilt one inside of the other, one in favor of one or the other team? And the drafts were pretty much even. This map is a bloodbath, and at the end of the day, it just comes down to who can find the kills, who can hit the proper executions, and those little timing things that you don't necessarily are able to control fully. It just happened to go the way of Na'Vi there at the end.
It's micro adjustments in terms of positioning, it's little things in terms of damage. It comes down to even the cooldown rotation of maybe a healing ability, maybe a movement ability. We saw that several times throughout that game from champions or players like Mutu on the Maeve, just using, do I decide to commit here with damage? Do I decide to relocate with Pounce just to put myself in a more favorable position? And even just the threat of that is sometimes enough to force an engagement slightly differently.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big thing is one shot hits, one ability is used, the engagement can completely change just based off of. We've seen it with Reanimate, of course, that's a huge one, but the spite to get up behind the enemy and try to find some high ground and try to get that pressure, those little one-on-one moments in the backline can really change the tides of the battle just like that.
Well, Na'Vi are now up 2 games to Envy's 1 in this set. They've taken the advantage, but can they hold on to it? Desk, what do you think?
Na'Vi looking good. They're close. They're close. 1 game away from rematch with Fnatic. I actually had some time to talk with Fnatic just recently during that game for some pregame interviews for them. They feel confident whoever they face, but now how likely do you guys think it will be actually Na'Vi finishing this up and going through? I'll start with Gore.
I mean, honestly, after looking at the way they looked after that last game, they're definitely going to need a lot of talking up to get back into it. It definitely seems like they felt like they could have taken that one again to a 3-3, but the problem was like at the tail end, I mean, they're dropping two people at a time, and it's just so difficult, and it was kind of similar to the first game, except there were no stellar kills from Rock Monkey and Random Noob. It was just, you get one here, maybe, but you didn't find the ones you needed.
Yeah, it's just really hard on Frogile to make those kind of big plays, because you're kind of limited by only attacking from 2 fronts. So Rock Monkey really likes going around the flank and just destroying enemy teams, but it's just impossible to do that against that lineup on Frogile. So I think that's what let him down.
And again, we're seeing more and more of just drafts and maps being so important. And it seems to be the maps that the snipers are usually banned that throws things towards Na'Vi. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's about it. Do you guys have any ideas as to why that's just strengthening Na'Vi and hurting Envy?
Well, the Frogile pick, I mean, if one team gets a sniper and the other doesn't, then it's really hard for the team who doesn't have the sniper. It's what teams tend to do is if one gets banned, they go, we'll just ban the other one.
Right.
Now they're both gone.
And then, I mean, at this point, though, it's opening up Maves and Inaras. We've seen this again and again and again, and Navi have won again and again and again off of this. Is it time to ban?
I mean, for me, it's starting to look like maybe you just let that Drogoz through. You figure out how to deal with it. I mean, Rock Monkey has enough hit scan in his pocket that he should be able to take care of it.
Right.
And you keep letting things through. I mean, Unbelievable throughout this set was just unkillable. And when it came down to it, it's just they have Spunky literally just sitting back there untouched, healing everybody. And then you have a distraction. Hey, look, there's Mutu over there. Let's try to shoot him. There's Creatives over there. Let's try to shoot him. No one was looking at the front line. And so for a long time, Navi just lived.
And this is a good map for Khan, right? Let's not forget that this is Torvald's one of his best maps. This is Khan as well, similar kind of Ultimate, one of his best maps. I think people are going to have to start being very aware of how valuable at point and on push and defenses those overpowers are.
Yeah, it's really hard to actually get it off though sometimes. Like I didn't see too many clutch ults from him. Some games you'll see like a Torvald come out, ult 4 people off the map. Other games he'll get no one the whole game.
Yep. But the threat is definitely there, and I think probably plays into the way you have to manage your cooldowns and just your positioning as well. Maybe throwing off some of the kind of grouping or the exposing that they'd want to do to be able to contest the point a little bit more viably.
And again, they were using this con similar to how we saw Envy trying to use it during game number 2, where it's just, okay, you're going to go on the side. You're going to hang out with Maeve. You're going to hang out with Zen. Like, you're just going to sit over here,
have some drinks, chill,
and do whatever you need to, but just make sure that they have that damage amp up pretty much every time they need it. Make sure that they have that CC immunity rolling for them. Unbeat, go stand on the point. Everyone's happy.
Unbe, stand on the point. That's just Navi. That's Navi in a nutshell. Unbe, stand on the point with Inara, please. Great stuff from them. Spunky actually played Saris last time we saw him on this map and did a good job. He said he thought he was an underrated healer. Don't keep first picking her in my ranked games, though. That's not what I want to see. You're not Spunky, okay? But you are great, and we do love you. I think at this point, Rock Monkey, he's got to step up, and Envy has to have a big performance from somebody. I actually think, and this is my hot take, I think Random Noob actually needs to have a big performance on a blaster to change the dynamic of this set.
I'm actually really happy you said that, because that's the thing. I was like, I've been seeing Rock Monkey. He's hitting shots, and in most of these cases, he's getting kills or he's setting it up. And then you have Random Noob on the Cassie. In the first game, it was kind of like, well, he's been a part of some of these kills. He's been there. The scout's helpful, and similar to that last one where it just didn't feel like he was contributing as much as he could if he was. But even on the Bomb King on the map in the between on Frozen Guard, it just didn't hit the same stride you really want to have.
And I want to toss it to you, but I also want to qualify that. He did go 18 streak, 7-0-11 for the first round of those two of this game, this last game on Frog Isle. So he did well on the Cassie, but the Bomb King was really lackluster, and when they lost that game, I felt like maybe his confidence might have gone down in playing those today.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to focus on just one or two plays for me, because I'm looking at them all and they're all doing like incredible things, pulling out everything needed, but I guess that like hot new talent like Rock Monkey, every time the camera's on him, he's pulling something off. It seems like it's basically scripted.
Yeah.
The camera goes to him, pentakill.
Shh, don't tell us. Hey, come on. I thought you were in. Okay, he didn't get it. We're not scripted, guys. We are not scripted at all. Turn to Gore.
Rain Day denies it, and okay.
Hey, and so what I'm really curious about here, as we don't talk about Rock Monkey anymore. I mean, Envy have everything they need to turn this around. This is kind of where Envy thrives. Being down, being in the loser's bracket, making adjustments. What's the big adjustment heading into this next game that you guys both think need to happen for Envy to tie this up?
I mean, I'm personally looking kind of towards the Maeve. I feel like it's one of those things that it wasn't the immediate issue in that last game, but it's just a constant threat that has been causing too much trouble and a lot of focus from Envy to get rid of it.
Yeah, and maybe they just try and ban out some of the DPS they don't want to play, and then they pick the other ones, because they've been getting the Cassie Charlene pretty consistently, but they've been letting up other stuff that, I mean, Navi doesn't care if they get those characters.
Right. I mean, at this point, too, do you think that there's a moment where you say, we got to take this in away from creatives? Because that was another thing that I thought was just kind of a nail in the coffin, just too much pressure. It was so good.
I mean, at the end there was even a moment where it felt like creatives was the reason they were able to win on the side of Navi, because he didn't die. There were so many times where it's like, if you hit this shot here, you hit that shot there, either Random Noob or Rock Monkey, He's gone, and it makes this a lot easier for you. And every single time, it's like, creatives, I'm in the corner, I'm in Billow, I'm somewhere. You're not going to be able to get rid of me. And that Zen and his presence just, I think, again, was pulling a lot of distraction away from the point.
Yeah, they seem to be running the extra points in the Billow card as well.
A lot of hideout.
Extremely annoying. You get them low, they billow, and they can go cross-map hiding behind a corner before you can shoot them again.
It's crazy. And that's kind of those second lives that Fnatic and Na'Vi are so good at getting. They play so well. It's so execution heavy in the way that they style. And this is another sniper map where you will see Kinessa potentially banned out, and that has not really gone in the favor of Envy. However, Na'Vi, let's talk about them. They are on a mission to get a rematch and turn the tide against Fnatic. They have lost in the spring finals 4-3. They've obviously lost 4-1 or 3-1 in that previous best of 5 to come down in the losers bracket and send Fnatic to the grand finals where they await the winner. And this really is an important time for them. They're trying to say, no, we should be on top.
This is, for me, the moment, and specifically because of this map, Envy need to draft Shaolin, they need to get Bomb King. And if they can get that, then this map is going to be theirs. They get rid of the Maeve immediately. I think this is the perfect place. And of course, they get to choose this one as the loser of the last game. So I feel like they are really just trying to drive this one right back into their control.
And this is also the Kinessa map. If they can pick up Kinessa on this, I'll be very surprised if they let that through the draft, because it's just absolutely insane.
They could ban a Ruckus here. And, of course, Na'Vi give them the onus to ban the Kinessa. It would probably lead to a first-pick Cassie, I would assume. And then Na'Vi would be able to Nara Shaolin if they were interested. Envy at this point would then have to run into, what do they want? Luminary Genos, so they want that Terminus again. And then Na'Vi are still set up with a Zen. They're set up with something that's strong. I don't know how you change that dynamic to where Na'Vi feel crippled in this. Interesting.
I'm kind of surprised by that one, although this is actually maybe forcing Navi's hand to say, like, do you want to give us the Kinessa? Because it's one of those, I think, as long as you get Rock Monkey on something comfortable, he's going to be able to come in and be impressive. I wouldn't mind if they had been able to get a Kinessa, if they'd been able to get a Shaolin, maybe going for an Inara first, but now you really have to juggle. Do we value that, or do we want this Cassie?
I mean, Inara and Terminus can all really change the tide, both of them. Do you think there's a need? They say, we just want Cassie instead.
Yeah, they pick up the Cassie, and I think they're also, Na'Vi's going to grab the Nara here, and they're really lacking the long-range DPS because Shaolin's banned, Kinessa gone, Strix isn't as good on this one. It's mainly the Kinessa because of the repositioning to get the high ground. So they're really stuck here. Who knows? They might just go for the dive with the Xin, or they might choose the Lian and try and just beat the Cassie at their own job.
A Xin was the same thing that had crossed my mind. I was going to ask, because it's one of those things that flanks on this map, specifically Maeve, has always been deadly, but all the other flanks you think still do really, really well here?
Yeah, well, Xin in particular is really good on this map, and if they pick a good flank like it's usually Maeve, you can go the Buck to kind of 1v1 and counter it. Seeing as Maeve's banned though, Buck probably won't come through, as you can see with the Drogos there.
And that doesn't look to be likely. The Drogos will be freed, so free Drogos. And now you have to look, Rock on that Cassie isn't enough. Random Noob's been the one. You have a lot of options here. I wouldn't be surprised if Envy did lean towards a Pip to round out a build like this. I think Terminus will get grabbed here to avoid having the Na'Vi, but they could invest in a Genos and a Xin, and that's where they're going to go, it seems like.
This gives them a little bit of flexibility, but also kind of shows their hand at the same time, where it's like, well, the last two picks, you have no idea what we're going to do. Is this going to be double frontline? Is it going to be triple DPS? You don't really know just yet. Although the Genos is kind of giving that, like, yeah, we're probably going to go that way. We have the Xin, we have the Cassie, so they're making it a little bit more obvious, I guess, into where they're going, while at the same time keeping those last couple things under wraps.
Yeah, because it's going to be really hard for Na'Vi to take the Terminus off them. They know Envy's going to pick it, but they just can't take it because then they're stuck with two main damage soakers out the front. Oh, nope, they're going to counter-pick it. They're risking it for the biscuit, I guess.
They're risking it for the biscuit, baby. And they've got the Dama. That's a lot of damage. They're really relying on this Drogos, I think, to take to the skies and be aggressive, as well as their initial flanks here. The Barrack's going to try to hold something down. Man. Envy here with their last DPS pick. I mean, this is where you run either BK or you say, hey, let's do something like a Barrack Ruckus, Barrack Khan. I mean, that could be some decent flexibility.
I don't know if there's anything Envy can really do that's going to make this a lot easier for them. Pip, I think, has to be the answer. And Xin, honestly, at this point, like, you want to go Yomi, but at the same time, you might want to kind of consider Guillotine coming into this. Because, I mean, like, Inara, Terminus, Damba, are going to be unkillable, and Drogoz is going to create so much space for them that Na'Vi, anything they pick here, is going to fit well to me.
And this is going to be really interesting because Barrick are walking that fine line that Na'Vi had walked against them by Fnatic on Fish Market. Different map, a lot more open space, Hades. And now Na'Vi have already prepped for it. Do you think they have an answer for this Barrick and Pip?
Yeah, the Pip's kind of to counter the double frontline tanks with the Nara and Terminus, but sometimes it just doesn't work, because if the Barrick gets pushed out, they can actually not have any high ground control, because their Nara and Terminus are unstoppable if they get up that high ground and they push Cassie's in off.
Ooh, and this is going to be a problem here. The Buck is really one of the bigger keys for me because he is going to just be a thorn in their side. The way Mutu or Creatives, they play Buck, it's this patient style. We're going to wait and wait and wait until you get a little out of position. And now we're jumped in the back line, we're on your healer, and you have to turn around. This is not what a Barrick who wants to just sit on point all day wants to deal with.
I mean, for me, this is just something, if this Pip can play excellently.
It's up to the Pip, I think, yeah.
I think Random Noob obviously going to be playing that one. If he has that stellar performance they need, this game swings heavily in their favor. Otherwise, it is going to be one of the hardest things that Envy have ever tried to win.
Hades, what do you think? Are we ending it right here, or are we going to a Game 5?
I think they can end it right here. The Buck, like I was saying, is that he can just hold aside, so he can go there and stop those flankers from flanking and just out-heal, box them out, keep them still, stopping them from being able to get behind. And hopefully that's enough, so the Terminus and the Nara can just dominate the mid-ground and high grounds and not let them on point.
Uh-oh, big-time stuff. Let's take a look at game number 4 here, and Envy and Na'Vi trying to go on to the finals.
You know, Shift, I was going to say that I really think that Na'Vi's draft rocks here, but I was a bit worried about your stony reception.
I quit.
No, we have fun here, folks. It is an interesting one for Na'Vi, right? They've got a lot of point sustain here. Again, as the desk was saying, it all comes down to how does the Pip execute? And that's the big deal right here. Ooh, look at this as well, though. Xin, Tolkien picking up Guillotine.
I'm fine with it, to be completely honest, just simply because, again, you don't want to be dealing with a Creatives Buck who can just heal himself right back up. So even if that Spite is used on the Buck, it's going to get absolute worth value. And now Rubu, this is the interesting thing that they were talking about at the desk. Can he contest this, and how does he contest this? Can they get control in the high ground? Although right away from the Sundial side, it's Creatives who finds Tolkien, and now Mutu's coming in with his Drogo Salvo Fire Spit combo and finds a lot of confirmed damage.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure how you let a Buck kill you as in quite that quickly. That seems just... I don't know. Maybe that's one for the replays, folks. But Mutu right now dealing a lot of damage coming through. Creatives getting the tactical spray in as well. Slowing down Tolkien. Tolkien forced to whirl away here at 72% and rising for Na'Vi on the objective, and nobody can contest until they deal with these backline damage champions.
Yeah, again, who's going to deal with Mutu on Drogos? The only real option that they have is a Cassie, and look at that, melted immediately, and Random Noob actually gets taken down by a Calamity Blast. Spunky finds a trade onto Tolkien of all things, and at 99%, overtime fading away, it's a quick and easy capture for Na'Vi.
Goodness, this is looking like one of my ranked games right now, Shift. This is a Pub Stomp Supreme, and Rock Monkey's Cassie that's been an impact pick throughout a lot of the games so far today has been the first pick for Envy whenever they had the opportunity. He's not really having the same kind of impact right now as Creatives shuts them down. 2 minutes and 10 seconds on this payload push, and Na'Vi already corralling all of Team Envy into their base.
This Buck pick was just so smart. I mean, there's just nobody out there who can really deal with him. It's when it comes down to it, you have to focus the Cassie onto Mutu's Drogos, and again, it's just so much free damage. Has anyone even touched Mutu yet at all? He looks like he's just absolutely out here for free as he comes in with a couple more Fusillade rockets that connect for some big health pools. He will finally get found. There you go. That's what you need, is to be able to find him from the side. And again, if he could just keep avoiding the Cassie, I think Mutu's going to be in for a monster game.
Who else is going to outplay them right
Nobody.
now? Nobody. The Pip, maybe Random Noob has an impossible wall to climb ahead of them, but so far, Na'Vi have been forced back. They've met their match, and the staggered respawns are coming through. There's a Spite from Tolkien on a Phoenix just to secure a kill, I guess, and that does help stagger Na'Vi a little bit, Shift, so there is some value there.
Absolutely is, and then, again, you want to try to get this high ground in your control. You do not want Na'Vi to be up what is right there on the top left-hand side. If Na'Vi gets up there, they're going to be really hard to get rid of simply because of, again, how much damage can be coming out from this Drogos, and without much counter whatsoever.
Look around here, though. Phoenix is already up top.
Beautiful play.
What do you do to a Terminus standing in your face as a Pip there? You've got to run. All you can do is run away, but now there's a Drogos up there too. Mutu trying to box out with Random Noob TV might be able to find one more shot coming through here, but look at the power siphon from Phoenix, interrupting all of those shots. Random Noob tries to find at least the last kill conversion coming through here, does hit the mid-air shot, 1-2, and does find the kill, but Mutu trades out as well, and that's in favor of Na'Vi in all honesty.
Yeah, but at the same point, the Dome Shield will create some space and allow those respawns to come back in. Spunky doing a very good job of keeping everybody healthy in front. He does have a Dread Serpent if he does want to use it, but it's actually going to be Rubu finding the kill onto Phoenix. Will we see potentially anything else be used for Na'Vi? No reanimate comes out, so it looks like they want to play their time a little bit wiser, but this is really good. If they can find Unbelievable in this staggered fashion, this defense is going to be in a pretty decent spot.
Mutu retreating now, taken out by Tolki as well. 20 seconds left to go, and there could be a last-minute capture, but Random Noob actually heads up to the high ground. Might even have to use Evil Mojo here if he gets caught out, but can just dismount Phoenix, and that is enough to buy some space. 10 seconds counts down shift. Is there any way that Na'Vi can find a way back in?
The only way is if Unbelievable stays mounted, and he's not taking the most direct path. But wait, is anyone looking at him? He just went right by Random Noob on the left, and finally he gets dismounted. So now it was close. They were close to giving it a go. One last kill at the end of the round for Mr. Hayes. He'll take that little bit of extra credits. But yeah, this early play, you cannot die, Tolki, on the Xin to a buck. Again, where is his cooldowns? What is he using in that instance? I don't think he really anticipated creatives coming further forward, but he had no help. It was an isolated one-on-one, and, well, Buck took him to the paint and scored on him easy.
At that point, you know that you're such an important part with Guillotine Xin at providing the damage which will take down these front lines or take down the Buck with your ultimate late game. You have to just stay alive in that circumstance. Get out of there, disengage, give the Bucks some ground, but then you regroup with your team to be able to collapse upon them. Now, Team Envy have made probably the most important defense of this set so far, Shift. They were able to make sure that Na'Vi weren't snowballing there, and whilst they don't have their offensive items online right now, they don't have a Cauterized 2, for example, on anybody besides Random Noob, they do have a Dread Serpent, and they do have a Spite.
And Rock Monkey going for the buffet line of items at the moment, level 1 of just about every color on the menu. 15% early for Na'Vi as Anar is the first person to step on. When does his Evil Mojo come out, and who does it come out against? And really for the tertiary question, who's going to be there to help follow up? How about Tolki? Oh, he gets Dread Serpent away! It will be Random Noob who's actually the one who falls. Finally, Mutu does go down, so that's at least worth the trade. But still, can they get the Sonara off point?
That's just beautiful reactive play coming through there from the side of Spunky on this Maldamba, able to save Phoenix in that fight from the Evil Mojo with 1 health left maybe. Tolki being focused out like that is critical to the survival of Na'Vi, and they now have ultimates like Dragon Punch to be able to maintain control.
They really need to toggle this control the high ground, I think, is the first part. You see Phoenix wants to move forward. He's got Buck right through the waterfall with him. Inara still on point. Nice Void Grip to put a little bit of trouble onto creatives. Good Power Siphon to drop some damage. Now the Dragon Punch does come in. It finds Rubu. Oh, but a huge through time and space. He's able to find Unbelievable and Mutu together.
That might just be the turnaround. Phoenix, though, does have Reanimate. This is huge. And also, creatives on Buck is escaping from all of these fights. Retreats and heals up fully again, but it is now being burst down by Random Noob and Rock Monkey, who does get the kill. But it's 78% and rising for Phoenix on the objective. This Stigala is holding it solo. Reanimate is available, but Inara's back already, and that's all you need to be able to hold things.
They're going to give it both frontliners, though, and make sure the Reanimate does come out and try to, again, make Envy try to find a way to get onto this point. They're going to have to go through both of these stone walls, and Spite needs to be huge. Rubu has to continue to touch. Oh, puts it through with the Void Grip, sets it up. What an assist play that was coming out of Mr. Hayes. He's been setting him up all game, and now Rubu finds a kill. What a retake from Team Envy.
Beautiful stuff coming through there, and that's the synergy which Team Envy needed to be able to do to execute versus Na'Vi's impeccable drafting comp here. 99% for the team in red. Team Envy in their home colors does get the capture here and is able to get themselves a neutral point cap on the board.
What a play. We've seen it happen before where it's one of those instances where, yeah, you just tee it up and let it rip, and Tolki's able to convert nicely. It came at the exact right moment, but props up to Rubu for keeping himself on that point in the face of a lot of adversity. And now again, Phoenix in a bit of trouble. The Billow has to be used from Tolki. He'll escape back around towards his healer. Mr. Hayes will be happy to get him now. Oh, Creatives is low. Random Noob, if you could find this kill, it'd be huge, but nope, the recovery comes out and he'll stay alive. Tolki finds a double, though.
That's all you can do. But yeah, Tolki finding, I think that might have been off a Spite there as well. Let's look. No, Spite actually at 92% from Team Envy's. Tolki right now is now hunting for somebody else. This is really the momentum opportunity that Team Envy have in their pocket right now. They've got the Evil Mojo. They have through time and space. They have a Spite almost charged.
Oh, but then they found Spunky, who's forced to use the Dread Serpent. It's totally worth because Tolki does go down. And Random Noob not able to help out with the damage. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. He will get himself that Moxie heal. It's been one of the big key loadout cards for the Pip, getting himself all the way back up when he's below 50% HP. He gets...
I've got to ask you, though, that was an Evil Mojo used in response to try and save Tolki. Now, Random Noob is back at around 29%, 30% right now due to the fact that Pip with Catalyst charges that ultimate incredibly quickly, but a bit of a misplay there, would it seem.
That's actually a good find, though. Tolkien able to pick out Phoenix with that spite, now looking towards the high ground. Rock Monkey will use the scout to try to get into Unbelievable's face, who they will actually find him. Mr. Hayes finds himself 2 more kills. Are you kidding me? He's absolutely a monster today. 26 streak, 2 more in the fashion of a Through Time and Space. And Rubu will help clean up Spunky, who was close to having that support on support battle. But still, the control of the map is going to go the way of Team Envy, and it's going to put Na'Vi in an interesting spot.
Na'Vi do have ultimates to defend here. They can use the Dragon Punch if push comes to shove. They have Buck Wild to be able to clean up very easily. And Mutu just has Fusillade damage. I mean, that's something, it's almost like an ultimate in itself right now. But Random Noob is doing a great job at holding this angle, poking out Mutu so low shift. And Team Envy, they're just taking inches away, piece by piece.
Random Noob wanted to get control of that ruined high ground. He will be found by Phoenix before he can fully make that committal. And look at this, Phoenix actually staying alive a little bit longer than I think Envy would have liked. A nice barricade to help peel away for Mr. Hayes and Rubu. Meanwhile, it's going to be Cassie on the high ground. She will be sniffed out, and Creatives will try to force right on top, and that will be enough for a kill, and likely that will be enough for the defense to set themselves up nicely.
Team Envy were in a good aggressive position right there, but Na'Vi played that very, very well. They have a good positioning right there, but also, oh my goodness, no. Na'Vi commit ultimates to that. Spunky goes down, or excuse me, Team Envy commit ultimates. Spunky goes down, but Na'Vi still are able to defend because they just drive a wedge between the payload cart and the rest of the team.
Oh my god, he almost found a third one actually as the Slither was just about to expire from Spunky, but Mr. Hayes
playing connect the dots over here.
Stunting on him a little bit.
Does Mr. Hayes have a math degree by any chance?
God, where are you going with this?
It's just lining up the angles right now. That's all I got with that.
You can do better.
I can do better than that.
You could do better.
I can't do better than Random Noob TV right now on this pip, sitting in second place damage, as well as Rock Monkey, who has been, this Cassie has been prioritized for Random Noob or Rock Monkey all the way through this set so far and seems to be really paying off.
It's just one of those things that, again, there's not much of a response on the side of Envy for this Drogos, and they're actually keeping him at bay nicely with the damage. It's just one of those things that, how is this happening? Mutu will traggle the Dragon Punch, go right in for Rubu, who's low, and actually will find him just at the near end of it, but Rock Monkey will once again punish.
Here we go. Seismic Crash was just used as well, and Creative is able to find Random Noob here. Long range stun does not connect. Tolkien just contesting for the time being. Knows that they're probably going to end up dying here. Has the slide available, could end up using it. Tolkien stays alive for a second longer, but that's a very staggered respawn now shift, and Na'Vi have Dread Serpent to be able to zone.
And of course, you are looking at a reanimate for the Terminus as they get to 81%, so 2 lives for Terminus.
Dread Serpent. Here we go, Random Noob up to the high ground. Unbelievable already takes out in combination with Mutu Rubu, and that fight was over before it began, in all honesty. I mean, the Dread Serpent comes through, sets up the kill into the frontliner, and then how do you contest versus this double Stagala?
Oh, you don't. That's what it comes down to, not when you're staggered like that. And the Dread Serpent was used preemptively just to keep people off the point, so good collected play from Na'Vi to get themselves the 3rd point on the board. They're going to try to put this one away here. A little jump and heroic leap toggle for Creatives to get to the high ground.
Control. It's absolutely disgusting to see. But Dome Shield is actually used right here in combination with the spike to be able to hold Phoenix in place. Reanimate is available. It will be used inside the Dome Shield there just to get back in time. But
he found Tolkien with it.
Tolkien, how do you die to that, fam?
Oh no, that's so bad, because now it's actually an opportunity for Na'Vi to move further onto this high ground, but Random Noob, again, finding some good poke on Mutu will force him to play a little bit passive for the time being, but again, look at Random Noob, where are you going to go from here? Everyone's looking at you. Oh, it's an evil mojo! Can he find any of these kills? The acumen is good, and Rock Monkey dodge rolls us in! Oh my goodness, what a play from Random Noob!
That was the entire focus of 4 members of Na'Vi drawn to just that one pip right there. Beautifully used the ultimate, and now continuing the pressure. Spunky gets brought low. That's a Catalyst pip doing so much damage.
Oh my god!
Isn't enough to block the AoE right there. I mean, Rock Monkey just walks straight up to him as well, and now retreating, holding the angles. Na'Vi have lost over half of their push time so far, and Team Envy are poised to make this defense.
Put your team on the back, though, Random Noob. Big evil mojo. Holy smokes, what a play that was. A minute left.
Random Noob backpacks coming out in a month or so, but high ground is once again being taken control of by, or at least attempting to, Na'Vi. Phoenix comes up, has been spotted out. Should see a lot of damage coming through. Random Noob retreating right now, but goes straight into the path of Phoenix. Oh, Power Siphon actually channeled there instead of maybe what would have been better. A simple Massacre Axe swing lets Random Noob stay alive, and now Tolkien lines up to try and deal some damage. Doesn't quite have the slide available just yet. 81% so far, but Random Noob is going in, and Mr. Hayes finds Mutu.
Oh, they can find Creatives here. It'd be absolutely monumental. Dreadstormer coming out, trying to put this one away. Seismic Crash being used, but Tolkien stays alive. Mr. Hayes will not be able to connect there, and Na'Vi is able to thread it through simply due to the space gain. But wow, Envy made a show out of it, and it was close.
I want to say a day late and $1 short would have been a completely different game shift if maybe that spite had been available for Tolkien, but 10% off. not quite enough in the tanks there. Beautifully executed by Natus Vincere the entire way through, and Team Envy, well, they made the losers bracket run at Vegas, but alas, this is where their journey ends here.
A lot of reflection you can kind of see across the faces of Envy, kind of staggering in that defeat, but my goodness, this was such a close set. It'll read as a 3-1 with a couple of 4-2s in there, but every single fight was just narrowly, just inch here, inch there, a second here, a second there. And what a good effort for Envy. What a set.
And as a team of individual players, we saw such incredible stuff coming through from Rock Monkey this set, from Random Noob as well. The front line from everybody was impeccable, but ultimately it is Na'Vi that take the win, and that brings us to a close here, folks, for the time being. Desk, what do you think of that set?
Marvelous. I mean, that's really the only word when you have two great teams competing against each other. This time, it goes the way of Na'Vi. Unlike in Vegas, all hugs from these guys. They know each other. They love each other. They've been good friends in this environment, and it's great to see that we will now have the rematch. Kind of a lot of people have been wanting to see again.
I feel like we always end up seeing this one when it comes down to it. I mean, PWC finals, we got a lot during the PPL. We got I think, of Vegas at one point.
Yeah,
we've gotten it
all
this
the time.
Week. Twice already, so, why not one more?
Yeah, they're scrim partners, so they're the match they don't want to go against the most. I think they would have felt that if Envy would have made it through, Fnatic would have been more comfortable. So now, who knows, it could be another Game 7, super close games all the way.
I mean, and that's the thing, remember, it's just these teams have played each other, 13 games already in the last 5 days, and now they have a potential for 7 more? It's like, I mean, this is the best boot camp you can have, for sure. And Na'Vi just clinical in that last game. It was probably, again, won in the draft, lost in the draft there on that map. It was just really hard for him to overcome the two Sigala, and shout-outs to Mutu, to creatives, to holding their roles down. And Spunky as well, I mean, really never really missed a beat on any of the healing moments.
And I think what goes into that, and a lot of that set as well for Na'Vi, was the fact that coming into this, they were like, we're not going to underestimate Envy anymore. Like, they have proven themselves as a top team. We're not going to glance over them. Fnatic had the same kind of response a couple days ago where they're like, we can't underestimate them. We can't get cocky. And that's, I think, been one of the big key moments for a lot of these teams, is finally realizing, okay, we need to ground ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, it's just... they're just really insane at the moment because they practice so much on certain characters, and yeah, just it's insane.
Hey, I got a question. Mutu stood out a lot for me. How big has he been this tournament for Na'Vi?
Yeah, I remember when he first came in as the hot new talent back at the first Masters LAN, and his Andro flick shots impressed everyone.
Yep.
And everyone thought he was kind of a one-trick, but as you can see, he's been absolutely smashing it in these games on multiple characters. And yeah, he's been a massive asset to Na'Vi for sure.
Pulling out a Drogos of this level, of this caliber, making these plays. Granted, only the one tank, and it's the barracks, so, the pressure you would think might have been on him a little bit more, but it actually wasn't. It didn't feel that way at all. They were really focused on the front line as far as a lot of their damage. Still, a fantastic performance. He hit his shots, and that's what matters as well. Being able to have a guy you trust like that, big-time stuff for Na'Vi. They are looking good. They're looking aces. They have made a difference in their play. They have changed their drafts. They have really prepared. And now we have the set that everyone has been waiting for. A rematch of the spring finals that happened just 5 days ago. It's going to be Fnatic and Na'Vi coming up next. Our early opinions. Who do you think is going to take this set? What's going to happen? What are your just thoughts around it?
I mean, based on it, obviously, they're scrim partners. You mentioned that, and that's something that I think gives them that point where every single set they come into, they're just like, oh, well, we'll just keep going with it. Like, well, it's just a new set every single time. But with the way yesterday went, I think Fnatic have it. It might go a couple more games, but I think they have the grip.
Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us on the desk. Any last thoughts on what you think will unfold this final set?
I think Fnatic's got it. The interesting thing will be is if Na'Vi go back to the triple DPS, because previously they've been picking the double tank, so that might be the difference that pulls them through.
Well, thanks, Hades from Kenga. Guys, we've actually got Na'Vi with an interview right now, so let's take a listen to the team that's going to be going into the grand finals.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm joined here by Creatives and Mutu after taking down Team Envy in the lower bracket finals here. And guys, we saw some very close games, some 4-3 victories for Team Envy and one for you as well. I got to ask you, that was a very close set in every single game. Is this now a relief for you to be able to go back and face Fnatic, or is this a bit of something you were confident about all the way through?
I mean, playing versus Envy is so hard. They are really good players, so going to Fnatic gave us a lot, beating Envy gave us a lot of confidence versus Fnatic now, I think, and momentum.
Now, draft-wise, you guys seem to be getting an Mave probably more often than you may have expected. Mudu, you're playing a lot of the Mave. How does it feel to be able to get such a powerful pick so often this late in the tournament?
I mean, it felt pretty good, but they had good counters against it, so it was really hard.
All right, guys, and as well, again, you're facing up against Fnatic next, and this is going to be the third time, I think, in about a week that you've faced off against this team. It's a match made in heaven for some people, a match made in, well, maybe hell for the other side of things, depending on how you're feeling about it. But after Fnatic kind of took pretty much a very good lead against you in yesterday's set, do you feel confident that you've been able to sort of analyze what went on and turn things around?
I mean, yesterday we started pretty nicely because we destroyed them first game, and on second game we had like 2-0 lead, but later on we lost our momentum, we lost confidence, and then it went downhill from there. So I'm pretty confident now.
Now going in, and this might be giving away your hand just a little bit, but the 3 DPS, we've now seen it more often in the last 24 hours than we had in the entire spring split. Is this something that we should come to expect with getting Phoenix put on that 3rd DPS more often?
I think yes. In Vegas tournament it didn't really work out. It was double tank meta, but I think it's coming to triple DPS now.
All right, good stuff then, guys. And just before we do end up going, you're facing off again against Fnatic. We've talked about how you might have changed some things up. Yesterday, it's all about momentum, but now you guys have warmed up and you've got that momentum from beating Team Envy. Do you feel in a much better place than you otherwise would if you were going in cold today versus Fnatic?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, guys, and as well, I've got to ask you, so facing such a long-term scrim partner of your guys, when you get the best competitive practice out of them time and time again, how do you kind of come up with new strats under the radar to avoid, especially mid-land, to avoid sort of giving away your hand too early to your sort of partner team there?
We played like some hours of other teams, not too much, so we kind of have something in our pocket, but mostly we watch tournament and see what other teams did and try to adjust to that.
Okay, last thing before we go. Mudu, any jokes for the crowd by chance?
No.
No jokes? All business as usual for Mudu. Well, good luck against Fnatic, guys. Of course, the grand finals, a little bit of a rematch. We'll get back to that one just when we come after this break.
Thank you.
Overtime, killing spree. Double kill, killing spree. Killing spree. And double kill. kill.